Good morning, Raptor Freaks. Lexiot's here. My voice is gone. I did my part. The kids did their part. A lot of people did their part last night. But somehow, some way, the Raptors lost the Utah Jazz by the end of the game. They had a 17-point lead. Scotty Barnes had his highest scoring first quarter in his career. There are a lot of good things happening. It seemed like it was going to be an easy win. And the bench. Once again, the bench. I would like it so much if Darko would bench Malachi for just like 2 games. Just don't play him at all. Just let him have DMPs. Because I swear that kid is screwing us up. I swear. I mean, there were a couple of different people all together that were messing us up. But man, he seems to be the epicenter of when everything falls apart for the Raptors, honestly. Now, the lineup at the end of the third quarter and the beginning of the fourth was once again a Scotty Barnes centered lineup with the bench that is absolutely a fail. Absolutely a fail. Now, I don't mind Scotty running point. That's not the issue. He can be out there, run point, but Malachi can't be on the floor with him. No, he can't. Because he's trying to do the point guard when Scotty should be doing the point guard. And he's kind of stepping on his toes, and he's a fail. He either turns the ball over or he misses. And I just can't see another Scotty Barnes, Malachi Flynn, Gary Trent Jr., Chris Boucher, OG Anunoby lineup. I'm sorry. I just can't see that anymore, Darko. That combination should be a big like don't even think about putting that combination together. Seriously. In some ways, I just don't want you to ever play Malachi again. I really don't. I really, really, really don't. All right, I'll do the 3 stars. I'll do the stream. But honestly, I don't want to do the stream for too long. It's Christmas Eve. Family stuff is happening today once again. And I just say this, Raptors, you embarrass me. I have my family here in town. I want to show my niece and nephew and my parents and my in-law, my sister-in-law, and my brother a great time at the game. And we did. We had a fantastic time. And you know what? They had a fantastic time, win or lose. But to me, I wanted to see them win, especially when they were very much should have won. It's just stupid at this point. Some ways I start to think about, are they on the download trying to do something with that T word just to manipulate the draft pick that's going on, the draft situation with our first round draft pick this year? Maybe. I don't know. I mean, this is ridiculous. You can't lose like this, y'all. It's so deflating and it's so bad and it's so awful and it just sucks. Sucks all around. You know, you feed our haters. You feed all the people out there that say, yeah, the Raptors are just the Craptors. The Craptors. I hate that nickname. In fact, I avoid it. I avoid it on most days. I never ever utter it out of my mouth. But right now we have to say this. There are the Craptors. The Crap Tours. I hate that. It's such an easy burn on us. Just put a C in front of our team name and we're the Craptors. Well, we are the Craptors. Crap the bed. And the last quarter, the Utah Jazz scored 70 points in the second half. They outscored us by 20 points in the last quarter. The Raptors did not care about playing any kind of solid defense to try and stop that. And that's ridiculous to me. I don't understand how y'all can't see what's happening and you try and do something about it. Whether it's Darko calling a timeout, getting them more set up on defense, or y'all just doing better over a course of like, I don't know, it was really like 15 minutes. Is the last 3 minutes of the third quarter, things started turning south. And then the whole fourth quarter, y'all could not play defense worth a shit. No, you couldn't. And Jakob Pertl, he didn't hardly play in the fourth quarter. I don't understand that, Darko. In some ways, you got these bigs on the other side. You got Walker Kessler. You got Lauri Markkanen. You got these bigs on the other side. You should have had Jakob Pertl out there to match them to a degree. It makes me so mad. In some ways, I am starting to question Darko's decisions with the rotation and who he's playing. Because if you fumble a game like last night, then I have to start looking a little deeper at the dysfunction of this team. And, I want to give you the benefit of the doubt, Darko, but man, your lineups and what you're doing out there really suck in some ways. Like, why are we not playing Caperto against Walker Kessler? Like, seriously, why are you not playing Jacoperto matching his minutes with Kessler for the whole rest of the game? Because inside he started eating us up late in the game. Late in the game. And then, of course, I can't rely on Gary Trent Jr. I love Gary. Gary's hit pretty good. He's one of my 3 stars for last night. But man, oh man, Gary, if I see you turn the ball over on an unforced turnover because you are like not paying attention at the top of the key near half court again, this has happened every game the last 3 games where somebody sneaks up behind you, pokes the ball out and steals it from you and gets a transition back going the other way. Such poor timing on that. That's such poor timing. And then Scott, as much as I love you, bro, and as much as you were impressing my nephew, my niece, and I, and yelling Scotty Barnes, FSU, yelling and screaming for you as you were electric in the beginning of the game. Yeah, you basically handed the ball to Lauri Markkanen on an inbounds play when it was very crucial. In fact, Scott, you put the dagger in our game last night by throwing the ball right into Lauri's hands from the out of bounds. We were down by 7 at that point with 47 seconds to go. What the hell are we supposed to do at that point if you're going to hand him the ball right at the end of the game and we're going to lose like that? It's just messed up. There's a lot of different problems. In some ways, it's just not fundamentally good basketball the Raptors play, whether it's on defense, whether it's just in their logic and their thinking. I don't know what the hell we need to do with them. All I know is that front office better get going. That's what I know. That front office better get going because I'm sick of this. They can let them enjoy Christmas. And then somebody send them some plane tickets to other teams, please. Please. I'll take a delayed Christmas present, Bobby Webster. Just make sure somebody's getting a ticket out of here, please. Because somebody needs to go. And it's up to you. You do it. Hopefully you're just successful and it makes it happen. But man, oh man, this team is messed up. It's just messed up. I hate that I have to do this stream on Christmas Eve. I hate this, Raptors. It was a Christmas game. We got Scotty coming out before the game, taking the mic and talking to the whole arena. It was so awesome. He's like, "Hey, Raptors fans, from the Raptors organization and me and my teammates, I just want to wish everybody a happy holidays." Oh, Scotty, woo, woo. And I'm telling my niece Ansley, I'm like, "Yeah, he's a Seminole, just like your dad and I. He went to Florida State, just like your dad and I." And she's like, "Really? He went to Florida State?" I'm like, "Yeah." And they're like getting all into it. We got Harrison a little mini Barnes jersey before the game last night, and him and I were twinning in our Barnes jerseys. And he was just, every time the Raptors scored last night, my niece and nephew were doing the Saturday Night Live. they jump, the Saturday Night Fever. They jump out of their seat and start doing this. It was so cool. It's like Precious makes a dunk, and then Harrison's up like this. They were doing their thing. We did it. We came correct. We were loud. Man, what the hell happened, Raptors? What happened? I felt it slipping away. There was weird stuff going on around me. Like people were not paying attention to the game. They were looking at this or doing that. I was really trying to stay focused. And other people trying to talk to me about other things. And I'm just like, no, we got to watch the game because things are weird right now. And something's slipping away right now. I could feel it. I was uneasy. I was like, are y'all going to manage to lose this game somehow, some way after cruising the whole first half and most of the third quarter with a double-digit lead? Are y'all going to manage to lose this game by the end? You're up by 9 and going in the fourth quarter. How are you going to manage to lose this game up by 9 going in the fourth quarter? Well, they showed me. They showed me how they're going to manage it. They're going to roll over. They're going to be having a total inability to score for the first 5 minutes of the fourth quarter. It's Chris Boucher, the only one scoring anything in that lineup from that point. My brother turned to me at one point near the end of the third quarter. He said, they got 98 points. What are they going to get, 140 tonight? Man, I wish, Carl. I wish they would have got 140 last night because that would have covered it. But no, they're going to stagnate. They're going to just like not score for a while and let Utah catch up and overtake them and take a 10-point lead. Yeah, it just have a 10-point lead with 5 minutes to go. And it's just like, yeah, what are you going to do now, Raptors? You're just not capable. Yeah, who cares if Jordan Clarkson sat for 5 games and he just came back for the first game? Rusty. Hasn't played with the Jazz in 2 weeks. Who cares if Jordan Clarkson's like that? No, he's got it like that. He's going to hit it. Y'all were telling me, get Jordan Clarkson. I'm like, man, he just killed us last night. The more y'all recommend people to me to get on our team that I say no, and then they come around and beat us, I'm like, okay, maybe they're right. I don't want to believe this about Jordan Clarkson, but that man killed us last night. He came out there and he was the baller. He's like, yeah, I'm going to put everybody on my back. Hey, Philippines may not win at FIBA World Cup, but I'm going to win tonight against the Raptors. Yeah, I'll carry y'all tonight. Yeah, Laurie Markkinen doing the same. Both of them coming right at us. Boom, boom, boom. Beat up the Raptors in the fourth quarter. Make a bunch of threes. Us can't make threes. You know, oh my gosh. Let's break it down. And I want to start getting in the comments. I've done my 10-minute rant. Of course, in some ways I got to try and stay positive, but I got to be real about this also. I got to be real. Canadian Dana is here. Good morning, Canadian Dana, and happy Christmas Eve to you. Good morning, everyone. Happy Christmas Eve. I can't say I'm surprised we lost. Well, on to the next one. Keep on trucking, whatever people say. I love this. I mean, sure. I would get all about this. I mean, we had the Wizards on Wednesday. Yeah, we better beat the Wizards. Yeah, we lose the Wizards on Wednesday. Yeah, it's getting real dark. I thought that winter happened. We're supposed to get more light in the day. No, Raptors didn't get with the program. It's darker out now. It's darker. Longer nights, less daylight in Raptors world right now. Yeah, darker. Yeah, and somebody on Twitter last night, John Hollinger, said, yeah, you think it's bad right now, Raptors. Wait till you play Detroit on Saturday and you break their losing streak because y'all are just like that right now. Have some pride, Raptors. Jeez Louise, have some pride. All right, Trevor J's here. Good morning, Raptors family. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Be safe out there because we need you here to keep on fighting with us. So stay true to yourself. Thank you, Trevor J. I love the encouragement about, keep your head up, stay positive, stay true to the team, and keep going because we need us now more than ever because things are grim right now. They just look bad. Like, this is so deflating. It's embarrassing, y'all. It's embarrassing. Y'all have some really tough games coming up, and these were supposed to be easier games that you're supposed to win against Atlanta, games against Charlotte this month. Y'all are 2-8 for the month of December. That's disgusting. That's horrible. This month was actually easier than November, and y'all are worse this month than in November. That makes me mad. Seriously, y'all are 2-8. Out of your last 10, you won 2 games, a game against Charlotte and a game against Atlanta, the lowly Southeastern division of the NBA. We could beat them, but no, we ain't going to beat any Atlantic division. No, they're going to try not to. No, we couldn't beat New York twice this month. We can't do nothing. I'm so mad, man. I'm so mad about this. Trevor's saying, I still can't believe we'll lose this game. We were up by 17 points. This is the same shit that happened to us when we played Chicago in the play. Yeah, I was going to say that. Just like when we played Chicago at the beginning of the season, this is exactly like that. Flubbing that game in overtime and letting Chicago bungle their way to a victory in our second game of the season this year. Yeah, that was pathetic then. And this is very reminiscent of that. That's very astute of you, Trevor J. That's very astute of you. This is exactly that kind of loss. It's just, you can't redeem this. I can't support this and say anything good about this loss because this is really bad. This is really, really bad. Trevor J saying, Coach Darko is asking for help. Nothing so many words, but he said, we don't have Steph Curry coming off the bench. Bobby, please get rid of these bench players, ship them out like overnight packages. Yeah. Just like Trevor J sending me stuff in the mail, ship them out. It's crazy. At the beginning of the game, Harry turned to me. He's watching the Raptors warm up. And he said, that player looks like Steph Curry. He said that before the game. He said it himself, just unprompted. That player looks like Steph Curry. It's Malachi. I said, oh, well, Harrison, that is definitely not Steph Curry. Let me just tell you that is Malachi Flynn. And I hope you don't learn about him too much tonight. Well, he did. He did to a degree. And I thought that was such a weird bookend by the end of the night that my little nephew, whose first NBA game ever, he had never gone to the Hawks game in Atlanta. His first NBA game was last night going to the Raptors. And he said, that guy looks like Steph Curry. I'll tell you right now, Harrison, that man is nothing like Steph Curry. Let's just put it that way. That man is nothing like. If Masai thought that man was like Steph Curry when he drafted him, way back. Well, he was wrong. And I have to admit that Masai was wrong on this one. And then at the end of the game, Darko in his end of game interview says exactly what Trevor J said. He's like, listen, y'all want me to change the lineup, but that would just be cosmetic. That's his words. The problems of the Raptors run deeper than just who's playing and what the lineups are. There's a problem with our culture. There's a problem with our guys and getting together what it takes to be an NBA team that's competitive in a league that's super ultra competitive. If you just don't have that dog, then you can't compete in this league, because somebody like Jordan Clarkson, who's on a team that's not as good as ours, can step up and have a little bit more compete in him, and that will beat us. That will beat us. In some ways, a lot of it is just compete. So when he said, it's not like if I change the lineup, it's going to do anything. It's cosmetic changes. Yeah, I don't have Steph Curry to come and bail us out. Maybe that is a shot at the front office. Probably not. It's just him saying, y'all think it's so easy. Well, what the hell am I supposed to do? Is what Darko's saying. I don't know, Darko. I could get creative on this. In some ways, if it's going to be bad already, make it real bad and punish people that are not performing the way you like them to, even if they're premium players that absolutely are necessary for us to be our top level in talent and playing well. You send messages in certain ways, and hopefully people get the message and they start getting their acting gear about taking things more seriously and being a more professional NBA team. Because at this point, the Toronto Raptors are not a professional NBA team. They might as well be a glorified G League team, as far as I'm concerned at this point. Yeah. And I'd like to see some good faith. I mean, hell, look, we were crying out for Marquise Noel like crazy. These guys were back. They're in street clothes. They're sitting on the bench. Activate your two ways. Stir it up. Get some more competition out there. Jonte Porter got named to the All-Showcase team, guys. This is fantastic. Jonte Porter, in this past week, in the 2 games of the All-Showcase team, he got 22.5 points, 12 rebounds, 4.5 assists, 1 steal, 2 blocks. He shot 67% and 70% from three-point range. He was one of 5 players that was on all first team for the G League Showcase that just ended this week. For the 2 games, he was one of the top 5 players out there. Why the hell aren't we playing him? Why aren't you playing Jonte? This man just is all showcase team. You could play Jonte, Darko. You're allowed. The rules of a two-way means you can get two-ways and put them in Raptors jerseys and put them on the main squad. In some ways, I'm losing faith in Darko just because I don't see. It's not even that I want him to change the lineup too much. I just want him to try little things. And benching Chris every once in a while is not enough. You need to bench Malachi. Seriously. Bench the hell out of him for the rest of his career in Toronto and never, ever see him take the court again for the Toronto Raptors. I would be happy. I would be very, very happy. Because in some ways, every time the air goes out with the Raptors, he is somewhere on the court. He is. It's just the damn truth. Every time there's some sort of instability or unsurety, or we just are not lining up with the other team in a level that's like competitive and they're just absolutely blowing us out, Malachi's on the floor. And this has been consistent for 2 years now, at least 2 years, if not longer, that we have had a subpar team on the court when Malachi is out there. Yeah, just stop. Just stop. You may not be able to develop any player in the league to certain things, Darko. You may have to throw your hands up and say, this is a lost cause, and just stop. Just stop. You're hurting our team. You're hurting our fan nation. You're hurting the franchise. And you need to stop doing it just because you're worried about hurting Malachi Flynn's confidence. I don't give a shit. Just crumple it up. It's a write-off. Throw it away. He's a write-off. Write off on this motherfucker today. Do me a Christmas present, Masai and Bobby. Write him off and get him off our team. Seriously. He is one of the biggest, hugest reasons why this Raptors team for the last 3 years has been inconsistent off the bench, because he is supposed to be the backup point guard running the bench, and he is an absolute fail. Absolute fail. Oh my gosh. Nako's here. Good to see Gerald Mayhew. I love you, Gerald. Merry Christmas. I hope you and your family have a fantastic Christmas. I miss you, brother, and I hope you're doing very well. Scotty having a great game isn't unexpected. Them not playing too good in the fourth, wasn't expecting that. Well, going to do prep for a Christmas dinner tomorrow. So Gerald's going to cook Christmas again, just like he cooked Thanksgiving. Well, I'm impressed. Gerald's got a little Julia Child in him. That sounded weird. Yeah, yeah, you do your Julia Child. Yeah, do your what was the guy that was on Toronto TV? Yeah, that guy was awesome. The Asian guy, yeah, he was good. Do that guy, be like that guy, Gerald. I want to see the pictures on your Instagram of what you make. I know he's gonna probably make a whole bunch of Instagram stories of his creations in the kitchen in the next day or so. Gerald, love you. Happy holidays. And I want to see you in the new year, my man. Mark is here. Put a fork in this team. Okay, Mark, I don't know you. It's not a good first step, but we'll allow it for right now because it is apropos. Let's see, but not for good. We'll put a fork in them at least until Christmas. After that, we'll see. Monique is here, the super fan Monique Lawrence, the greatest. We love Monique so much. Monique was in the building last night too, feeling the disappointment that I feel right now. Yeah. Nasty fourth quarter, plain and simple. Good morning, Raptor Freak family, and Merry Christmas Eve. Stay voting for our guys, regardless. Always cheering, regardless. We cheered like crazy last night in our section. Yeah. I was doing my defense chant all game long. I didn't care what was going on, and they made me look bad because they didn't play defense. They didn't really have any way of stopping them in different ways. So I'm here trying to go defense. Y'all have me yelling in vain because y'all ain't got no defense. This is Utah teams laying it up, coming in and dunking. Y'all aren't doing anything. You're just standing around. In some ways, that's what I miss about Nick, is that he really didn't allow this kind of horrible defense to go on for too long. And, well, it just didn't really come around last night. I mean, if you look at the box score, we had a fantastic first quarter, 34-31 at the end of the first quarter, and then a brilliant second quarter, 37-24, with a big, big lead over them at halftime. It was a 10-point lead. And then the third quarter, they beat us by 3. And then the last quarter, they outscored us by 20. How the hell do y'all let them score 41 points and we only score 21 and y'all lose like that? How the hell do you do that, Raptors? Seriously, why? Why do you do that? Why do you want to put yourself through this? You're about to go on Christmas. You want to have a nice time. I want to have a nice time. Why are you making me wear all purple today? Why are you making me wear all purple today, Raptors? Because you can reverting back to early Raptors futility bullshit. Man, what is this? What is this? Let's see. Nako saying Gary seems to be getting back in the swing. Still wish he was as exciting as he was in his first year with us. For some reason, I feel like Gary's taking edibles or he's high. Like he's on like ganja or something like that. I don't know. He's lackadaisical right now. He's a step slow. And he's not paying attention on the court correctly. It's like he's spacey right now. Like, why are you so spacey right now, Gary? Like I said, I'm sick of these turnovers where people just pick your pocket at the top of the key and they run it back and get an easy score. It's ridiculous. You're supposed to be doing that, not them. You like turn your back and the point guard comes around behind you and nobody yells out anything to you and you just get your pocket picked and boom, it's a momentum stealing score for the other team because you're not protecting the ball correctly. And then, of course, he did shoot well last night overall, but he has huge key misses at key times too. Like when they're battling and they're starting to make threes, we need to answer them. And well, can we depend on Gary to get the open three when we need it in crunch time when things are bad? No, he'll make them earlier and he'll be on and off because he missed a lot of threes last night too. It just sucks. Monique saying all showcase team for Jonte. Congratulations. Yeah, that was awesome. That's a little bright spot from yesterday, but who cares? The Raptors are where they are. All right, Michael Furlano is back. I haven't seen Michael in a bit. Let's see what he's saying. This team isn't it, man. We need to retool and build around Scotty. We've had a large enough sample size of Scotty. I've been saying this since last year to retool this thing, shaking my head. I'm all for this too. I mean, it's just that these guys want to really make sure they move in the right direction. And I think it's going to start happening, Michael. I think that it's at the point where people are just fed up. And it's not just the fans. I'm sure that the front office is fed up with this too. And, the management. So, I mean, I'm with you. I'm all about building around Scott and making things that make sense to be around Scott stay around and things that don't to go away. And in some ways, the biggest thing we need to do is part of the thing is the Raptors have had most of their talent consolidated in the starting lineup of the last couple of years. We have one of the best starting lineups in the last couple of years, not this year, but we did last year and the year before that. And what it is that we have most of our salary concentration in those top 5 players. Now, in some ways, I'd like to cut one of the top players on our team in a trade and get a better filler for the bench. That I feel like we just need to have more quality players overall, deeper into the top 10, that actually come in and do amazing things and awesome stuff. And there's like maybe 8 players on our team that are absolutely solid. And especially shooters, people that are going to make their shots, because I'm sick of these false advertised shooters like Malachi and Gary. Gary, I'm like so 50-50 on you last night. In some ways, you're one of my 3 stars of the game. But also, I see the mistakes you're making out there also. It really, really makes me mad. Monique is saying, Darko once again asked about potentially changing the lineups. It's not like we have Steph Curry on our bench, said Darko. We're completely different the way we played in the second. Yeah, they were fantastic in the second quarter last night. They were absolutely clicking. There was a lot of fast break. There was a lot of passing. That was one thing he said that the Raptors went away from in the second half that was no good, was like they didn't pass it like they did in the first half. They went away from passing. There was some settling for threes too much in the second half, not trying to work it in. They were playing a little lazy, selling for threes, and you're not hitting the threes. Well, go inside, especially if you have a double-digit lead. You don't need the threes. Just keep scoring twos and get them in there. And hopefully you can guard the 3-point line well enough so that they're not just bombarding you with threes like they did last night. It's crazy. It was crazy, and it was really, really frustrating, and it really pissed me off. Let's see. Mo's saying on to the next one. Yeah, Washington. We better not lose that one. Let's do Christmas first. Edmund's here. Race Mode Daily. Good to see you. Such a lovely Christmas picture of you on Instagram with your family, man. I love it. Good morning and Merry Christmas. All I want from Santa is a winning season. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, Edmund, I was speculating on this. I was thinking about this. We got 11 wins right now. I wanted to get 42 to have a successful year. I just wanted to get one more win than last season. That means we got to get 31 wins still in this season in 2024. Now, if we can win Washington and Detroit before the end of this month, that's 13. Well, I'm not going to put those in for sure because honestly, we shouldn't. Because if anybody's going to help Detroit get out of their losing streak, it might be us, especially on the second night of a back-to-back after going to Boston on Friday night. We're going to go to Detroit on Saturday. We'll have to see. But, yeah, to get a winning season, that means either we get to 41 wins and get 500 or we get to 42. And to me, I want to get to 42. But getting 31 wins by the end of the season, I don't even know how we could do that without making a very substantial trade that really changes our performances. But otherwise, I'm like speculating. I'm like, damn, don't make Vegas right, Raptors. We're supposed to go above and beyond. They always shade us and put us real low with this wins. But now, right now, the way we're playing and the way things are going, it's sounding more like Vegas is going to be right. That we're going to win somewhere between 32 or 35 wins. And I'm like, that sucks. That just sucks, Raptors. Well, don't make the Vegas prognosticators that downplay us and shade us right, is what I would say. Yeah. Monique's saying full 48, please. And thank you. Yeah. The defense. There's no defense in the second half. Absolutely no defense played by the Raptors. And it's depressing. Y'all are supposed to be, you're not an offensive team. So you got to be at least a defensive team. You're not. You let them score how many points in the second half? 71 points. And y'all only scored 48. Yeah, you're going to lose 71 to 48 scoring in the second half. That's why you lost right there. Yeah. G saying we don't have anyone other than Pascal or Scotty who can get 30 at this point. We had like Stanley Johnson getting 30 during Tampa season. I don't even know. All right, I'm going to do the 3 stars. The first star of the game is Scotty. Scotty was fantastic. Scotty, in some ways, like my nephew and I wanted you to get your career high. In some ways, I don't care. Shatter that glass ceiling. 32 is you're tied with your career high. And so we did see it, but I still feel like you got all those points so early. You had like 17 points in the first quarter. That's a record for you. You broke your record for most points scored in the first quarter, and you were absolutely electric right away. And I was like, yeah, I can get behind a Scotty Barnes crazy career night. But in some point in the middle of the game, they went away from you. You disappeared. We didn't see you. In the second half, you were not as much of a factor. Definitely then. 32 points in 38 minutes, 12 of 23, 4 of 8 from three, perfect at the line for four, 14 rebounds with 3 offensive, 7 assists, 1 block, 4 turnovers, a -6. Yeah, Scott. I mean, I love the start. I love the scorching shooting right away, 3-pointers, going inside, mixing it up, all kinds of good stuff, rebounding like a man, all the stuff you're doing out there. But where are you disappearing? Where are you doing? Where's Waldo in the middle of the third, or even with that lineup when you're out there with that bench? Seriously, you need to be top dog and alpha and tell Malachi to kick rocks because that man should not be directing the team as the point guard. If you're out there, you're a better player than him. And you should be touching the ball, and it should be going through you. People that are blaming Dennis Schroeder for being a ball hog on Scotty, you should actually be blaming Malachi. Because when he's in that lineup with the bench with Scotty, he's not getting the ball to him and getting the touches and taking the shots more than anyone else. In fact, we see them like shoot, like Gary misses a 3. Malachi tries to do something himself with some stupid layup or something. Chris is taking shots. And meanwhile, where's Scotty taking shots? If he does take a shot, he misses one. So he's just adding to the missing with the other guys because their missing's infectious. So don't even go to those other guys. Just feed Scott. Feed Scott, and either he's going to take the shot and make it, or he's going to pass it to someone who's going to make it off of him. So I'm sick of this. Y'all are going to do this lineup, Darko. You need to make it very clear to those other guys they're subordinates to Scotty, and they need to let him do everything on the court as much as possible, and they're just there to help him. As far as like, I'm an open 3 out there. Malachi, you shouldn't be handling the ball anymore. I don't give a shit. You shouldn't even be playing, man. I'm so sick of him. I'm so sick of him. My second star of the game is is OG, actually. OG had a bounce back game. He was very efficient in some ways last night. 8 of 13 shooting, 2 of 3 from the threes, 1 for 1 at the line, 2 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals. No turnovers, a -4 with 19 points. I was happy to see OG wake up, perk up a little bit, get a little more energy, and play better. But once again, in some ways, I'll blame OG this way. You're the defensive leader of this team. You're supposed to be the best defensive player on our team. And in some ways, you should be taking that pride to go ahead and try and do stuff to help us with, being a defensive leader and captain. And like hunkering down or saying, guys, we need to do this better. Y'all are making my defensive reputation look so bad, letting the Jazz score 70 points in the second half. We got to do better. In fact, they're asking these guys after the game, what was said in the locker room afterwards. Nobody's saying anything is what they said. It's like, well, we're not going to talk about it tonight. Nobody's really saying anything in the locker room. We're just kind of going to go. And I hate that. In some ways, they're going to sit in it on their own in their own personal ways. And, they're going to go to Christmas. They're going to do all the family stuff for 2 days. They're off. They're not doing anything team related today or tomorrow for both Christmas days. And then Boxing Day, they will come back together and they will go to OVO practice and they will have a full practice. And hopefully Darko will read him the riot act. And maybe he'll make some adjustments to his rotation that does not include Flynn. I would love that so much. Call up Marquise. It's going to be a new year. Let's call up the real point guard that we have on this team, Marquise Noel, and start playing him at backup point guard. I'm sick of this shit. I see what he does in 905, and he's a perfect point guard. He can do those things in the NBA the right way because he's smart. He's a way better player than Malachi Flynn already. In fact, I have way more trust in Marquise to make threes than Malachi Flynn. This guy's a two-way, and not even two. He's a two-way. He's undrafted. He's never hardly played in the NBA, and I have more faith in a man who's been in the league for 3 years. What is this? Seriously, Marquise has played 1 NBA game. He's gotten 2 points from free throws, and he barely played at all. I have way more faith that Marquise Noel can run a backup point guard unit for us on the main squad than Malachi Flynn after 3 years of wasting our time with this idiot. Seriously, I'm not going to be nice to him going forward. I really am not. I try to be supportive. I'm trying to be the Raptor Freak way with him, but I can't. I can't anymore. He's the epicenter of all of our bench problems for the last couple of years. The point guard is so important for the rest of the team. He's the captain. He's the guy who gets guys going around him. He can't even get himself going. So he's just a big, huge fail to me. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. My third star is Gary Trent Jr. Like I said, mixed bag. I've already kind of gone over the negative things I've talked about him. So I'll talk about the positive things. He was 6 of 12, 50% from the field. I like the shooting. 4 of 9 from 3. He did manage to hit 4 threes. There were 5 misses, though, and they were at crucial times. No stats whatsoever otherwise. Not a single rebound, not a single assist, not a single steal, not a single block. 2 turnovers, though. A -10 with 16 points. And this is our third star. This is our third star, a guy who shot 50%, did not contribute any other stats otherwise, and was 16 points in 28 minutes. That's the third star. I give it to Siakam, but in some ways, I expect more from Siakam than what he did last night. In some ways, he disappeared at times and should have been carrying late in the game at different times. In some ways, he wasn't in the right lineups. He wasn't out there. They should have been catering to him. They didn't do that right. I mean, we had a really good ref crew. We had such a favorable ref crew, and y'all screwed it up. I don't even understand that. We had a really favorable ref crew that was absolutely great and was no problem. And the green light was there for y'all to get the W. You just managed to fumble it. You fumbled it. Siakam, 7 of 20, missed both his 2 3-point attempts, 5 of 6 at the free throw line. That's fine. 9 rebounds, 6 assists, 1 steal, 1 turnover, 19 points. He was even. He was an even person. Now, we look at the plus minus to try and really figure out who messed us up. It's Chris and Gary, with -11 and -10. And Chris was perfect from the field, 3 for 3. He hit his only 3-point attempt, 2 for 3 at the free throw line, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, 9 points in 13 minutes. But like I said, in that period of time, in the fourth quarter, he was the only one scoring anything. And the rest of the Raptors were ice cold and didn't do jack shit. How did it fall apart so bad? And why does it fall apart so bad when that lineup of Scotty and the bench is out there like that? Why is this so consistent like this? Darko, are you paying attention to trends? Are you paying attention to when the team is falling apart when you put the bench in with Scotty like that? Seriously, and it's not even Scotty's fault. If you put them out there in the right combination with the bench, it'll work. But Malachi is not a part of that right combination. That man should not be playing the NBA. That man needs to go home. Eric Flynn, we're sending your son home from the nursery. He never grew up. He never grew as a player. And he needs to fucking get off my team. Yeah, he does. Yeah, he does. All right, there's my 3 stars of the game. Yeah. Oh, my gosh. Let's see. Fiercey saying, good morning, fam. Happy Sunday despite the loss. I want to be positive, but that bench unit cost us the game again. And for some reason, people will still find a way to blast Yak and Dennis. Yeah, I don't get that. That's a diversion. Y'all really want to get pitchforks out, go for Malachi. And that's a very much an approved target from Raptors Freak. If you want to know who to target, is that man right there. In fact, I'm pissed that Jakob did not play late in the game. I know he's a hack-a-yak, but in some ways, he should have got way more minutes later in the game to settle things down with all the offensive rebounding that they were getting, and also just the work of Walker Kessler in the paint. It's like he had a size advantage he utilized in the second half that was really annoying. And Jakob is the neutralizer. In some ways, these are the things that make me question Darko, that he's just not getting it about making smart matchup decisions as far as things. Rajakovic, I want to defend you. I want to say you're going to be a great coach. But in some ways, some of the falling apart of yesterday, I have to blame you for, bro, because this is not like this is a quick turnaround where the Jazz came up really fast and stole one from us and shocked us. No, this was very much slow moving, overcoming us over a quarter and some minutes. And you did not stop that freight train from coming into the station like that. In some ways, man, I got to give you some blame last night, Darko, for personnel decisions and not coaching in a way to get your guys organized to understand what the Jazz were trying to do and stopping them and getting it figured out. It makes me so mad. I don't want to blame the coach. I don't want to blame the front office. But if it continues to be where I'm wearing so much purple, yeah, I will start coming after other levels like everybody else in Raptors Nation. I don't want to, though. I understand the best things about our team are our front office and Scotty. And in some ways, I want Darko to become one of the best things about our team, but he isn't right now. He isn't right now, and that sucks because Nick was one of the best things about our team last year. In some ways, even though he's a horrible coach for us last year, for the most part, his bona fide pedigree and all the things he does was one of the best strengths that we had in our organization. And I don't want to keep losing good people and good things just because our failure is so bad. It has, casualties is what I'm saying. Jakob, 21 minutes, 1 for 4, 2 points. Like, yeah, why aren't we using him similar to what we did in Philly? Like he was one of the top scorers, and we did not get him in there in the mix trying to do stuff. Was it because Kessler's a good guard on him? I don't know. But I feel like 21 minutes was too few for Jakob, and he should have been playing more late. Dennis, this is a perfect game for Dennis to have had more of a green light to play. Once again, he's on a field goal attempts restriction because people capped him. But in some ways, I wish he had been more free flowing and able to do what he wanted to do. 4 for 9 from the field, 1 of 3 from 3. He hit the 3 right at the end of the game. 2 for 3 from free throws, 3 rebounds, 7 assists, 3 steals, 4 turnovers, a -1, 11 points. Yeah, I mean, I'd love for Dennis to flirt with getting almost 20 points again, but I don't think Raptors Nation's okay with it. It's like they're saying that you're on our team and you just suck and you're not allowed to shoot. Why are you guys doing that to him? We need him to have a clear conscience and be able to do that. If his shot attempts are way egregiously over Siakam and Barnes, I'll get behind you. But if he's right around Gary's shot attempts, I have no problem with that. Seriously, especially since Gary has not been setting the world on fire with his performances this year for the most part. Precious was okay, 3 of 7. He missed all 3 of his threes, and honestly, he shouldn't be taking some of those threes that he took yesterday. In some ways that was annoying. 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 blocks. Precious is adding stuff out there, and he's very much involved in like the transition stuff too. 8 points for Precious. Could have been better. Malachi, I don't even want to read his stat line. In some ways, he got 6 assists. That's great. 0 turnovers. But man, 1 for 3 with 3 points. And we can just tell your time out there is just a dud. It's just a dud. All right, let's keep going. Let's see. Tristan's here. Good morning, guys. Congratulations to Jonte. I like Darko's fire in the post game. We got the same guys on the court the first and the second half. Yeah. I mean, if anything, Darko's learning. Maybe he's learning the head coaching level for the NBA is tough, really, really tough. And in some ways, dealing with NBA players today is extremely difficult. These guys are weird. In some ways, Scott is awesome. I get it. After the game, Scotty wasn't upset about this game. In some ways, I wish he was more, but he has the right attitude. The question was for him, how do you deal with this losing and how the team is right now? Is it really wearing on you? Is it making you upset? And Scott said this basically, look, I understand that I'm very privileged and I have a lot of gratitude about playing in the NBA. The fact that I am in the NBA is like a dream to me. We lost to Philadelphia last night, but I got up this morning and knowing that I get to play again in the NBA against the Jazz today, feeling very privileged and honored and having gratitude. And I love playing for this team and playing for these with my teammates. So he's got the right attitude and he's not getting jaded because of these losses. Anybody's worried about Scotty getting jaded because of these losses? No, he understands it's part of the process. And in some ways, he's very, very much just having gratitude about being in the NBA and living the NBA life and getting to compete over and over again. It's gonna catch up at some point where his talent and his ability and his aptitude and the way he carries himself on the court is going to match his like really, really wanting to win. In some ways, he's still kind of learning it mentally and also just how much it takes to win in the NBA. Now, it remains to be seen if this current edition of the Raptors and their bench is going to be able to support him and get him consistent winning in the future. So we need to make changes, Bobby. And you can't delay on this. You need to get this going now because we need to show progress. We need to show in good faith to Barnes that our team is heading in the right direction and not in the wrong direction. Right now, we're moving the wrong direction. So you need to change that direction, front office. Make a deal. I'm sick of this. I can make excuses for y'all not making deals last year. I can make excuses for y'all not making deals in other times, but not right now. There's no reason that y'all want to keep this team right now. This team sucks. It's not working. It's broken. And you need to make a deal, Bobby Webster. Seriously. You got to figure out Siakam the next 6 days. You got to figure out what you're going to do with people like OG Anunoby and Gary Trent. And just get it done. In some ways, the fans need something to feel bright and positive about for the coming new year of 2024. Do you really feel like we want to go through the rest of this season the way it's going right now with the same people on our team the way it's going right now? No, we don't. Y'all need to do this. You're going to hurt ticket sales. You're going to hurt the brand of the Raptors if you don't do something proactive to try and change this roster so that it fits better and it plays better. And in a lot of ways, it has to be very much catering and centered around what Scotty needs around him. That's just the truth. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. All right, G saying our bench loses leads and our starters have a hard time closing out the fourth. I do like that Darko's mad. Maybe this will have him figure out that 4 bench lineup too. And yes, why wasn't Yak on? Yeah, Utah's a big team and they had a lot of size and length. And Jakob did not really get to play in the second half at all. That just seems stupid to me. Like, that's dumb. Anyway, yeah, that's a good 2 points, G. Our bench loses the leads and lets the other team build leads, and then our starters don't know how to close games to win. Yeah, that's Fred. That's missing Fred or Kyle. Knowing what it takes to get him. Like, if we had Fred last night, Fred would have said something in the fourth quarter when he really felt like things were going the wrong way to try and stop it. Did we have anybody out there trying to do that, to get the guys oriented to understand what the Jazz are trying to spring on us? Will Hardy and them, they really got aggressive, and they had an idea. This is how we can win, guys. And he told them, he said, Clarkson, Laurie, you guys keep being aggressive, keep shooting. And the Raptors, if they don't guard you, just make the shots. And they're like, yeah, we can do this, coach. We're going to try and beat them. Meanwhile, what are the Raptors talking about? Hey, we're winning. We got double-digit lead. We're doing great. It's going to be Christmas soon, guys. I'm excited about Christmas. No. There's 12 minutes to go in the fourth quarter still. Y'all need to play still. Oh, my gosh. It makes me so mad. Cool Cat's here. Good morning, Rapid Free crew. I was at the game, all relaxed. Then I got nervous when they put the bench in by themselves. What was he thinking? Flynn, Gary, Boucher, Precious on the court together. Coach Darko again. Yeah, I got that uneasy feeling right around the same time as you, Cool Cat. It's like we've been watching them so closely. I'm like, okay, this is a danger time. And I was thinking that right at that moment. Darko said in his press conference, we didn't lose the game in the fourth. We lost the game in the third. That's when things started to turn. That's when the energy changed with the Jazz and the way they were playing. And they kind of started turning it on a little bit more while we had never turned it back on after a really good first half. Yeah. Oh, my gosh. Cool Cat. Very frustrating. And like I said, I was embarrassed in front of my family, Raptors. I was embarrassed in front of my family. I told them, it's like, man, this would have been the perfect game, except the Raptors didn't win. We did everything perfect. We came down the arena early. We had so much fun. My nephew got the oversized Raptors hat, which looks so crazy on him. And we just had a good time. It was like, it was so nice. And my mom loved all the wintry, like Christmas stuff going on with like the dancers and just the whole scene of it, the big event of it. My sister-in-law was having a good time. And the Raptors just didn't come through with their part of things and the whole thing as far as taking care of the W in our own building, a building where we are 8-9 this season. We have a losing record at home right now. We haven't won 5 games on the road. Like, we have not won on the road since like the beginning of November. And we're about to go on the road a lot. It's looking grim. Bobby, you got to pull that trigger. Yeah, maybe you give them Christmas and Christmas Day, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, today and tomorrow. But man, if you make a trade before Friday, Thank you is what I'll say to you. Just do something. Try something. Just some sort of new something for this team. Please, please hit a home run with a deal very soon, Bobby Webster. Please, please, I'm begging for you to do something like that's my Christmas wish. Let's just make some sort of deal. Come on, man. Please, please. G saying Flynn and Precious cannot be on at the same time. One is athletic but poor decision making. The other one isn't a good enough backup point guard. Yeah, he doesn't rein anybody in. Malachi, do you even know the strengths and weaknesses of your teammates that have been your bench teammates for like the last 3 years? Like Chris and Precious and Gary. Do you know their strengths and weaknesses? This is something that point guards think about. Are you too busy being a high dribbler, fancy pro amateur player? Because honestly, I don't know if you actually think like a point guard. I don't think you do because you don't play like one. I've seen one. I know what a point guard looks like. His name's Noel. I ain't seen Flynn play like a point guard. He's some sort of weird new age hybrid guard. Fuck that shit. I hate hybrid guards at this point. Either you're a shooting guard or you're a point guard. Make your decision. I'm sick of your ambiguity and your stupid head and your face at this point. Like, pick one. You're either a point guard or you're a shooting guard. You're not good at either one, then you just miss the mark, is what you do. You just miss the mark. And I think you're right. They don't need to be playing Achua with Flynn. I value Achua much, much more. So just get rid of Flynn. Just get rid of Flynn. He makes Precious look bad, is what we're saying. Fiercely saying it. I really wonder if Darko does the decision making, or is he being told by front office to limit minutes on certain players? Even Alvin noticed Jama told Darko to put Yak and Pascal when we were getting torched at some point. Why does Jama see things but not Darko? Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, and Cool Cat's saying she's not even emotional about this loss. I am, just because this may be the only chance I get to go to a Raptors game with my whole entire family, and they lost. You lost. I got my parents there. I got my brother's family, and you guys lost. It's embarrassing, y'all. It's embarrassing. So embarrassing. Yeah, I'm wondering about this too. I mean, I wondered about this last year, like the decision not to play Thad for most of the end of last year, the not get the quota, the stuff that they did with Jeff Doughton. Why are we so screwy? Why do we not make good decisions? Why are we not utilizing the two ways in the right way? Why are we not utilizing the old heads the right way? Why are we giving so much to guys that are failures and not? Are they really seriously? Because this could be true. I mean, let's think about this. If we are so bad, we keep our first round pick, right? Is that what they're saying? That if we are in the bottom 6 of the NBA, if we're one of the bottom 6 teams record-wise by the end of the year, but we keep this pick we're supposed to give the Spurs, that's what they were saying, I think. That if we're in the bottom 6, if we're like really, are we doing this on purpose, Bobby and Masai? Are we? I know you can't just overtly say it, but in some ways I get the feeling that maybe you guys are doing this on purpose. And that we need to lose Darko, but act like you're trying. Well, this is no good. We need to establish him as a winning kind of coach so that the fans won't reject him. I don't know. Any kind of way where you're like losing on the down low, yeah, that's never good. But if you're like thinking, well, we're already bad, Masai, maybe we should continue to lose so that we keep our draft pick at the end of the year. That's messed up thinking. That's messed up thinking. Oh, my gosh. I don't know. Darko, are you pulling punches like I thought Nick was last year? Because I for sure thought Nick was pulling punches last year. In some ways, if Jama's telling you stuff to do and you're not listening to him, then it makes sense. Man, I don't like hearing that. Tristan's saying, yeah, I will say once certain people from the bench came in, we visibly started losing control of the game. And I've observed a few occasions where Jama supposedly makes adjustments. And yes. See, that's what I'm wondering. Like, why do you not understand that this guy's a fail? That just putting him out on the court instantly like is negativing us. As soon as he steps out there. Stargate saying, good morning, Raptor Freak family. Sorry, I've had it with Malachi and Precious. Gotta go. Other than Scotty and Pascal and possibly Yak, everybody else is for sale. Yes, including OG, because he can garner the most to get back. Yeah, I don't want to deal Precious still. I don't want to give up on him. I really do see merits in him. I'm on the record for that. So I won't go too far on that. But yeah, I'd be okay with them trading everybody else except for maybe Scotty, Pascal, and Precious and Jakob. And, even Dennis. If they want to trade Dennis right now in some sort of trade, I wouldn't be. I would be like, I kind of wish we could keep him. But in some ways, that's part of how the deal has to go or whatever. Yeah, fine. But nobody else, I don't give a shit. They don't need to be on my team anymore. If they need to be in a trade to get our team better, improved, okay. I'm all about it, Stargate. Good morning to you. Merry Christmas. Tristan's saying, laugh out loud, same cool cat. I think I'm just past that point. Yeah, well, this is the maturity we're showing now. Maybe when we're younger, like some of Twitter heads and crazy people down there, they're getting all emotional because they're immature with their emotions and they don't understand how to handle them or control them. They just lash out and get angry and write stupid shit all over Twitter. In some ways, we're mature and we understand how to deal with this. And in some ways, we've been working on separating our emotions in our everyday life from what's happening with the Raptors. As very passionate fans that we really care about the team, in some ways, you don't want to ruin your life just because the team is failing. It's not fair to you. It's not fair to Cool Cat. It's not fair to Tristan. It's not fair to me that I'm going to be miserable around Christmas just because my team is a failure. No, we can have a happy Christmas. We can enjoy ourselves. We can separate it all. And I think that that's part of the problem is some people just aren't mature enough to separate their lives from the Raptors winning and losing. And that's why they get all bent out of shape and crazy. And that's maturity. That's emotional maturity. And you guys are showing it. You guys are definitely showing it. Let's see. Cool Cat is saying, so happy that the kids had a blast of the game. Merry Christmas, Lex and family. Yeah, it was awesome. They got on the Jumbotron once in the third quarter. They were trying really hard. Every time they started seeing them put people on the Jumbotron from the crowd, they would jump up and do their little Saturday Night Fever dance and just get crazy. My niece Ansley and my nephew Harrison, and they were so animated. At one point, the camera did catch them, and it made my sister-in-law so happy. She was like, "Oh my gosh, you're on the Jumbotron! You're on the Jumbotron!" And she wanted to take a picture of it. That's why I was appealing to anyone if they have the ability to get the League Pass feed from the inside the arena and can get the image of them on the Jumbotron. I'd be so grateful, if anything, to give it to my sister-in-law so that she has a picture of them being on the Jumbotron at the Raptors game. Yeah, it was really awesome. Really, really awesome. It was around the third quarter. And like I said, he had that oversized Raptor hat they've been selling lately because he's seen the Atlanta Braves wearing it down in Georgia. He's like, oh, they didn't let them wear in the dugout because of New Era and licensing. And, well, he got his own big hat, and it's a Raptors one. And it was cool. And, yeah, oh, man, they had such a blast. It was a really, really, really special memory and time for me because I never get to see them. I really, really never get to see them. And getting to share what I love doing the most, and that's going to Raptors game with my niece and nephew, was just so, so special, Cool Cat. Oh, my gosh. Even if they didn't win. I was like, man, Raptors, why did you ruin this perfect day with just not getting the W at the end? That's all you needed to do. And you had the lead. That's why I'm mad. In some ways, I'm emotional just because I don't get to go to games with them like it's easy. No, I don't. This may have been a once-in-a-lifetime thing. And they couldn't get the deal done for me because they're just who they are right now. Oh, my gosh. G's saying, if this is true, which I believe, my fellow freaks, Darko needs to listen to Jama more. He knows these players. The organization, he's a great developmental mind. Okay, yeah, seriously. Like, seriously, Darko, I really like you. And I want to continue to sing your praises. And I want to continue to keep our family at least on your side. But at some point, if I don't see adjustments, if I don't see intelligent coaching decisions with lineups and things that you're doing, I may not be able to politic for you anymore and say the things to defend you from your negative ninnies that are against you. In some ways, this is something we need to see in good faith. I would love to see you bench the hell out of Malachi for a while. That would just make me so happy. And if you could do better with like some things, if Jama's telling you to do stuff, you can play Pirtle as a defensive player late because we need him for defense. Because defense is just wide open lane, let everybody score. I mean, were we trying to let the Jazz score 40 points in the fourth quarter last night? It seemed like it. It seemed like, hey, the door's open. Come on in. I'm just in here watching the NFL on Sunday. Come on in. Yeah, grab the popcorn. Put your leg up on my couch. just rub your feet all over everything with dirt while you're here, like Rick James. Yeah, at Eddie Murphy's house. Come on in. Come on into my house. Just totally disrespect me and kick the hell out of me by the end of the game. That seemed like what they were doing with their defensive philosophy in the second half last night. Yeah, come on in. Just ruin my house. Why don't you go pee on my stuff while you're here? Yeah, just pee all over it. Why not? Yeah. Maybe it's a little dramatic, but let's see. Mo, thank you for being here once again. Fiercely saying, what frustrates me is the trade talk for Pascal and OG. They are not the problem. Major cleanup needed in the bench unit. If they perform well, there would be no need to add bench depth. Yeah. And then we get back to like criticizing Bobby Webster and roster construction for having such a poor bench unit, such a lack of solid, viable shooting night in, night out, such a lack of like balance on the bench, on the team in some ways. There's not enough balance. The Vision 6-9 stuff has been destructive. And in some ways, the Raptors' experiment of Vision 6-9 has been a failure. It really has. I really kind of in some ways look at the whole idea of the Vision 6-9 that they've been trying to build for like 10 years, really. That it's this culmination of it. And what we get to is that we lack skills in certain departments that are essential in today's NBA, which is so centered around the three-point shot. That Vision 6-9 is a fail because athletic guys are not natural shooters sometimes, and they just do not shoot as well as these shooters that are shooters in the league. And that has really hurt us. That has really, really hurt us. Cool Cat saying Coach Darko and his rotation strike again. Now he's pissed at the media saying they don't have Steph Curry on the bench. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, I like Darko's spirit. And like you guys are saying, he's angry about it. And in some ways, he's not happy about this. And also Siakam and Barnes, they reflected on it. And they're going to look at it and think about it too over the next couple days. I don't know. At some point, it's just really the results, guys. You can say you're upset. You can say that you hate losing. You can say you don't like this, you don't like that. But if you don't have the pride and the will and the means and the ability and the team around you to do it, well, I get it. You're going to have to be apathetic and just accept being losers. And that sucks. That really sucks. That's why I want to get you guys more help. Get them help, Bobby. Come on, man. Fiercely saying it can't be. I low-key hope that loss was intentional because if not, it's totally embarrassing. I know. Some people are trying to say, like, are you doing this on purpose, Raptors? Like, seriously, did you do that last night on purpose? What kind of a freaking holiday gift is that for your fans? Right before Christmas. You got Scott on the mic saying, happy holidays, everybody. Thanks for supporting us. Yeah, you're going to lose support, Raptors, treating us like this and going so bad and making it go so awry. Everybody's having a good time. We're all thinking, and then you want to let them Grinch us? Why are you trying to let the Utah Jazz Grinch us like that? They Grinched us. You let the Grinch come down to Whoville and steal all of our goodies and happiness like that. Jordan Clarkson. He's a Grinch. Yeah, that's what it looked like to me. Tristan's laughing about the Steph Curry stuff. Yeah, why is my nephew saying, is that Steph Curry? And then at the end of the game, Darko's saying, we don't have Steph Curry on this team. That's definitely not Steph Curry, Harrison. Let me just put it that way. That is definitely not Steph Curry. Mischief saying the Raptors keep losing. They might avoid giving the 6th protected draft pick. Mathematical. If Raptors played Flynn 30 minutes, he would have had 13 assists, 8 points, since he had 6 assists in 14 minutes. Mischief, I love you, man. Big man. I love your math right there. That's hilarious. I mean, I wish it worked that way. But honestly, I think that he gets his quota of like 3 points, and then he just runs cardio for the rest of the game. I don't expect him to double his points to 8 if he plays 30 minutes. I expect him to have 3 points at the end of 30 minutes and probably still 6 assists because he's doing cardio. That's what I expect in that situation, Mischief. You think higher of him, Jay, than I do in that way. I mean, I wish it was like that. We're giving Jay another dunk for an awesome comment. Nako saying, I guess there's some 2 ways that I'd like to see get some run, but like how much will that help towards winning? Honestly, if we had a more organized bench with a point guard that actually ran the team like a point guard's supposed to, yeah, it would help the team a lot. if I'm just thinking about basketball fundamental things, Marquise Noel would instantly help this team, even with his 5'7" height. He would, and Jonte would help too, because Jonte's playing at a very high professional fundamental level also, and he may be a better backup center right now than Precious. So in some ways, I'm okay with benching Precious to send a message also, and put in Jonte in his minutes just for a game or two. I mean, seriously, Darko, give more guys a chance. In some ways, you're just letting guys have things given to them. I thought this was supposed to be earned, not given. And because guys aren't earning what they're getting on our team at this point, they're just getting to play. And that's no good. That's not really giving a carrot for them to go achieve and go above and beyond. That's just saying, yeah, you get to play, Malachi. You have played every single game this season. I have not seen Malachi get benched one game this year. Meanwhile, Chris has DMPs. Why doesn't Malachi get DMPs? That's what I'm wondering. Why? What does he have on you, Darko? Did Eric Flynn get some blackmail on you coming in? And Eric Flynn's calling you in mysterious ways, like late at night. That was good, Darko. You played my son for the game, and I'm glad you did. I know he's hurting your team and you're losing, but if you don't do this, I'm going to tell them all your dirty little secret. No, Eric Flynn, leave me alone. You're horrible to my family. Ha 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 ha. You have to play my son. What do you have on him, Eric Flynn, that makes him get to play no matter what, how much he fails? What is this? Like, what do you have on Masai? Maybe you have something on Masai. Yeah, Eric Flynn. I'm wondering about this. All right, let's keep going. Fiercely saying, you're right, Lex. Giving ammunition for haters and angry fan nation to mock us. A friend of mine told me he's glad Fred left us and is on a way better team. Hearing that annoyed me. Yeah. That kind of stuff is annoying. The success of Nick and Fred right now is great. In some ways, I love Fred, but I hate Nick and I hate the Sixers. And yeah, it sucks. It sucks. This is a dark time in Raptors time right now. It really is a dark time right now. It's getting to be a little bit like Bosch era kind of stuff, pre-Bosch, before, after Carter Bosch switch over, a little bit or like Damon Stoudemire days, way back in the very beginning right now. I mean, if we're going to win only 20 games this year, no, I think we'll do better than that. We won't be exactly expansion Raptors where we're struggling and we're only getting like 20 wins out of 82 the whole year. I hope to God not. I mean, there's way more games left to be played in this league this year than we played yet. So we better not be a 20-win game team. Ooh, that'll be ugly. Yeah, whatever. I'm just going to shut them all off. I'm just feeling so lucky and blessed and thankful that we all have found each other. Because even if things get dark, Cleveland Browns fans have fan groups like the one we're doing right now. And it is a very much a supportive group that keeps people feeling like, you know what, we have a community and we do have people that care just like me. And like I said, if I was a fan by myself that's very positive about the team and I was suffering because I did not have other people to talk to like you guys, this would be way more hard. And that's part of the reason why this channel is important, even when we're not winning. And, if anything, it's just to keep a community of, fans and together during the dark times so that we can get through it together. Man, it sucks. Tristan saying, number one, Nurse said, good luck with those guys. Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot more meaning to that at this point. We're not realizing how deep that was and how much he was really pushing them and trying to get the absolute best out of them in the way he does things. Oh, man. Number two, I do think he made a good point saying he changes the lineups during the games. Is it about cosmetics or something else? Yeah, I thought that point by Darko saying is like, look, it doesn't matter who I change into the starting lineup. It doesn't matter how I rotate guys. There's a fundamental problem with the culture of this team. That it's all cosmetic changes. If I just switch Dennis out and put Gary in the starting lineup, the same stuff's going to be happening, is what he's trying to say. So in some ways, I took that comment along with the Steph Curry comment as Darko's kind of like front office, help me, please. Help me. As that's kind of how I took it. Let's see. Yes, he could probably do better. Talking about Darko. Yeah, I think that a lot of different people could do better. Even Scotty. Scotty's playing at a top level right now, but he could do better. He didn't have to hand the ball to Laurie in the last minute of the game. He didn't have to disappear for a quarter or so around the third quarter. He was on the court and he was out there, and he should have been the epicenter in the time when we weren't able to score. That's when you need to carry us, Scott. You can carry us at the beginning. That looks fantastic, but you had halftime and a rest. So why don't you come out and carry us in the third too? Or at least in the part where you really feel like that's what you got to do, Scott. You got to start recognizing when the other guys on your team suck in the lineup with you, or they're not playing well, and you need to rise to the occasion and just take over. And in some ways, you need to demand the ball to be in your hands and it work through you every single time down the court. It just has to be that way. These guys should not be the guys kind of distributing things. And I'll even lump Dennis in that group with Malachi or Gary or whoever, that none of those guys should be the epicenter or working through. Scotty, Pascal, and Jakob are the three people that should be the hubs of the offense when they're on the courts. And one of those three guys should always be the hub of our team. It shouldn't even be OG or Precious. No, none of that. The only three guys that should be hubs of our offense are Scotty, Pascal, and Jakob. Jakob is good at it too. And the other guys, they should not be ball handler, point guard, distributors in any kind of way, other than like maybe Dennis hands it off to Scotty and Scotty makes the decision at the top of the key. You know, Malachi, honestly, you shouldn't even be playing the NBA. That's just how I feel right now. Let's keep going. Superfan saying change is coming, even if even SBA staff see it, bro, too. She's talking to her usher friends and security friends at the game last night, and they're saying that they think there's going to be a trade also. The people that work in the arena for MLSE. Yeah, they see the writing on the wall. Yeah, and it says exit or section 116. No, Bobby Webster, make a deal. That's what they see. G saying this is why Fred was a jerk at times. He was trying to drag this team to wins, and they need discipline. I was trying to say this to people last year, and when they made Fred such the problem or making the big deal. No, he's the grown up, and he's trying to hold a certain level of excellence in how we carry ourselves and play that Kyle would have. And that if you're coming at Fred, it's all he's doing is being Kyle now. And if y'all don't like it, well, you're not. I was trying to warn people, with Fred not on our team, we lose the treasure map and we lose the ability to close games and try and win games because he's the one who understands this best. Well, now either Siakam's got to start remembering how to do that himself and get better at it himself, or Barnes. It's on Barnes' development schedule as far as him continuing to realize just how much he has to do to make it add up to winning, especially with a team that's this shitty around him right now. You know, if we can improve the team around him more and more, it'll get easier for him and he won't have to carry so much. But in some ways, Scott's got to carry way more than he should have to right now. And that's no good. That's no good. Cool Cat saying we need to waive a lot of the bench and bring up our G League players. Yeah, I don't know. We've got to get value for them. If we can get value in any kind of way, I mean, I'm okay. Like, I hate this. The Sixers waived Javonte Smart. They're one of their two ways that wasn't totally working out very well, and they jumped on Kenny Lofton Jr. So the Sixers got Kenny Lofton Jr. and the two-way in the last day or so. See, that's something that I'd be like, well, Bobby, I don't care if you like Javon Freeman Liberty. Cut him, and let's two-way somebody else. Kevin O'Banner, Justice Winslow. These are names that we've heard recently that could be interesting to two-way. You know, I don't know if Justice Winslow could come up and get some justice around the Raptors with how they carry themselves and saying, what the hell are y'all doing? Y'all don't understand where I'm at right now. I partied down in South Beach and I drank too much and I womanized too much. And it became more of my life than my NBA career. But I woke up and I realized I was about to lose it all. And I didn't take it so seriously. And now I do. And now I got to really do what I can because I'm about to leave this league if I don't. Man, bring him up and make him a wake-up call that can tell these people a little bit more perspective on what can happen in your career. I think Malachi's been too safe. That motherfucker needs to have some fire put under his feet to really show him you're in trouble of losing your career. And Justice Winslow can be a cautionary tale that can tell you just how far you can fall real quick. And in some ways, I would applaud that. Bring him in and just tell them and show them how much you're fighting to stay in the league right now, Justice. The way you're bulling to the lane and doing so much on the 905 level. He wants it so bad. Darko, cut Javon Freeman Liberty. Wave his ass today. And two-way Justice Winslow. And see if his cautionary tale kicks some people in the head about effort and taking things more seriously and being a professional, because it can all be taken away from you if you don't honor it and take care of it. Yeah, I'm all about that. Fiercely saying, Lex, I'm glad your family still had a blast of the game. Merry Christmas, fam. I'm in Montreal spending time with family. Enough minutes spent on the Raps. Too disappointed. Bye, fam. All the best, Fiercely. Have a great Christmas, and I'll share my Christmas carol with you guys tomorrow morning. Not a regular stream tomorrow. I'm going to be on for like 5-10 minutes. I'm going to sing my Christmas carol song, and then I'll be out the door and going to see my grandmother, 101-year-old grandmother, on Christmas Day. So that's what I'm going to be doing tomorrow. So not a full stream. Don't even comment. Just come in and say Merry Christmas if you want. But I'm going to be focused on singing my song. And I was practicing it yesterday. It sounds great. And it's so timely. Y'all are going to love it. You're going to love my song tomorrow. It's so good. So good. Merry Christmas to you, Fiercely. And I hope you guys have a fantastic Christmas in Montreal. I got a couple things. Adriana got me some stuff at the game. I got my Scotty Barnes Funko yesterday. I've been wanting this one. I did not have it. I finally got it. It's pretty cool. I have a Funko collection. I'm a little bit of a goof with that. And then I even got the Raptor yesterday. I hadn't had the Raptor Funko either. And I was like, I got to get these Raptor ones. So that means I've got 3 Raptor-related Funkos. I've got these 2, and I've got a DeMar DeRozan one from years ago when DeMar was on our team. So, yeah, I've got a couple of Raptor Funkos now. It's pretty cool. Josh Monroe's here. Good to see Josh. It's been a little bit. Let's see. Josh is going to bring up Clarkson. I think I remember you bringing up Clarkson before. And in some ways, if you're circling back to get your kudos for it, Josh, let's see. I'm going to go ahead and let you know how I feel about it. Let's see. Where is Josh? It skipped ahead. And y'all give me a cutoff because I do want to finish up. I'm going to do Christmas stuff very soon. Let's see. Josh is saying Clarkson is a baller. He has more talent in him than the rest of the Raps bench. Yeah, I can't disagree. It's a luxury that they had him coming off the bench for this game. In some ways, he's been hurt, and they wanted to integrate him back in. Coach Will Hardy was very, very impressed with how Clarkson melded back in with his team after being absent for a couple weeks. And, yeah, that is impressive. No, Clarkson's a baller for sure. And in some ways, this was a ripe opportunity for him to look real good, because the Raptors are kind of not professional in their pushovers. Respect Josh Monroe. And if you were pushing Clarkson before, respect from me. I should have listened to you. And, maybe he does need to be on our team. I'll trade to get him for Gary Trent right now. If the Utah Jazz would take him, will you take Trent and Malachi Flynn? And you just give us Jordan Clarkson? I'll be fine with that. We could do that, Utah. I'll do it. I'll do it right now. Tristan saying, peace out, Fiercey. Enjoy your time. Yeah. And Cool Cat saying, I wanted Coach Jordy or Coach Sergio for the team. Coach Darko is stubborn. David Thorpe was correct. Well, I'm not going to say David Thorpe was correct. Fuck that shit. Fuck that. I'll never say that, even if his goofy ass and stupid things. Listen, I don't know what's going on with Darko, but in some ways, he's showing signs to me that he is not smart with personnel. And when he's putting people in and maybe like rewarding and doing certain stuff, I don't like it. In some ways, listen, I get it, Jordy, Sergio, but listen, Cool Cat, what's going to happen is this. We're not going to get either of those two guys. Sergio is not going to be coming to the Raptors. Jordy is very valued by the Kings. And if anything, he's in succession with Mike Brown. But I don't think we'll circle back and get Jordy, especially since he's Team Canada's coach now. And we've already learned that having the Raptors coach be Team Canada's coach is not necessarily the smartest thing to do. So I don't expect either one of those guys to be the person. If things don't go right with Darko, who's going to be the next coach of this team. It's the one you guys have already mentioned here. That's the guy sitting next to him that knows more about our team because he was here before. And he has a championship ring from the time when we won earlier. Yeah, it would be Coach Jama. Coach Jama will get elevated to our coach if Darko gets fired. Darko gets fired in the first 2 years. Coach Jama will be our next coach. I'll bet you money right there. Let's see. Stargate saying, for the last few games we lost, it's been these quick, skilled guards that have been breaking down the defense. Lack of stopping the ball at the point of attack by, sorry, Lex, Dennis has been an issue. Man. I mean, I can't really defend anybody right now in any kind of way. Now, I think that everything was good in the first half. This is a later half thing. This is the second half kind of problem. We played them beat their ass in the first half. Everything was going fine. So I will say this: the bench coming off a second night of a back to back with the starters playing heavy minutes in the Philadelphia game and the next night, I think that we did really good against them to start the game, and that's Dennis. It's really the lack of things. Dennis was not on the court when everything fell apart last night. So I'm not going to get behind this Stargate. Everything fell apart in the third, and Dennis was not on the court when this happened. So in some ways, he's clear of it. There was very much a specific Scotty in the bench lineup in the game when this all went to shit. And so I get what you're trying to say, but in some ways, God forbid that Dennis Schroeder chasing around Tyrese Maxey, trying to contain him on Friday night, get on a plane the next day, come in, and actually he played fine for most of the first half. I thought that Dennis and the team was doing okay. It's the second half, and then when the bench came in, where everything kind of went bad. Monique's saying David Thorpe has been an asshole from day one. You know, you're getting a dunk for that. That's much better comment than David Thorpe was right. No, Monique is right. He was an asshole from the start, and he's just trying to be a thorn in the side of Messiah at this point. Honestly, it's like Messiah helped you. I made your whole career. You wouldn't have had a foot in the door without me helping you get that job with the Orlando Magic. And yeah, okay, yeah. But now maybe he's like a scorned person in Masai's life. And in some ways, he's like taking it out and causing problems afterwards. Yeah. Stargate saying, Chev noticed what I have with Dennis these last few games. He's not keeping up with his man and switches all the time. Most times, the switch is not communicated properly and his man ends up not covered. All right. Well, I'll pay more closer attention to this. The thing is that we don't have a whole lot of options in this. When somebody brought it up recently, that we have a lack of guards on our team. And I think that's true, that we need a couple more smaller guys on our team and not so many wings trying to take up guard spots. You know, in some ways, Jalen McDaniels is superfluous on this team. We don't need him on this team. We need a guy who's a shooter and a small guard that's more capable, like a Jordan Clarkson, maybe. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Once again, there's a lot of criticism of Dennis. I don't really see Dennis as being the problem last night. Nako's saying, God, if we lose to Detroit, they're playing like a G League team. Well, so are we. So are we. Gerald, we'll have to see. Can you go to Detroit on Saturday? Can you go to Detroit on Saturday? Maybe you and I need to drive over there. Gerald, do you want to get a last-minute trip to Detroit together for next Saturday? I'll go to Detroit with you on Saturday. Yeah, I will. Seriously. I'll go there. You know, I'll pay for a bunch of stuff too. You need gas money? I'll give you some gas money. If Naco the Nacho wants to get in the car and drive us to Detroit to watch the Raptors on the second night of back-to-back next Saturday, I will go with you, Gerald, if it'll work. We'll figure this out. You're going to maybe talk to me this week. If it's not even any kind of possibility, just tell me. I got a bright idea. You drove there for the last year, right? For one of the games in Detroit. Well, maybe I should go with you. Maybe I shouldn't go into the U.S., though. I don't know. I don't know. In some ways, I'm interested in this idea. And maybe in some ways, we need to go there, Nako. Let's think about this. Seriously. Think about it and see if it'll work with your schedule and what you're doing right now. You may have work or something. I don't know. But we'll see. G saying, I would rather trade half the bench for a good bench piece and bring up Jonte and Noel, but don't think they even have the value at this point. So unfortunately, most likely Pascal or OG will be traded. Yeah, nobody wants Malachi. Like, who the hell would want Malachi Flynn on any other team right now? Seriously, who the fuck wants Malachi? Seriously. Who, in some ways, Gary's trade value went downhill since the season started. He had better trade value last season, that's for sure. But now this year, Gary's trade value is like, you know, it's sad. Gary Trent Sr., very active at the game last night. He's filming some stuff with it. They had the workout that's the closed practice workout before the game. I went to it with Tom and Isaac when they were in town. Well, Gary Sr. was at that with Gary's brothers, Gary Trent Jr.'s brothers. and he filmed some of it. And there's a nice little clip of Gary Trent Sr. sitting courtside teaching the kids, this is how NBA players warm up, pregame routine. And then Scotty walks over to his senior and says, hey, Gary. Hey, Gary's dad. And he said, hey, what's up, big Scott? And he dapped him. That's cool. Scotty's in a really good place right now. I can tell Scotty's very, very happy, y'all. Seriously, even with the team being in disarray and not winning a whole lot, Scotty understands he's a franchise player and he's excited about it. In some ways, the things that people are saying about Scotty's relationship with the Raptors are crazy because he's actually really relishing being the man, and he has a real good promise coming out. Obviously, he's playing very well, and that makes you feel good, but there's more to it than that, and he has a bigger picture, and he's a smart kid. There's a lot that's happened with Scott in just the last 3 months where he is leveling up quickly. And in life, he's leveling up also with his maturity and his composure and how he carries himself. And I'm all about that, Scott. You keep going. You could be the best NBA pro you can be. And man, we'll be rooting for you here in Raptors Nation. Yeah, we will. That's right. Let's see. Cool Cat saying all those players complained and caused drama about Pascal. Fred VanVleet trying to instill Lowry principles. Nick Nurse, Fred left, and look at the results. These youngins cost us last season and strikes again. Yeah, I knew it was moving in the wrong direction. Once again, I'll go with established results and what works. And old heads saying things on teams like Fred VanVleet, he's never wrong. He's the right one. And anybody who's dissenting or having a problem with Fred last year, you're idiots. And you're part of the reason why our team is the way it is now. Seriously. If things didn't have to go so south with Fred and Nick, well, if they had been still around, we wouldn't be playing the way we are right now. No, we wouldn't. No, we would not. Kevin's here. Good to see Kevin Thompson, a great Raptor freak. Noel is like 5'8", but right now I would definitely give him a chance. Malachi sucks. He's 5'8", but I wouldn't hold that against him. We've noticed in 905 he plays bigger on defense. He's not a liability in certain ways that you think obviously a guy his size would be. So I say give him a chance. In some ways, I'm sick of this. These guys are doing good things. Give them the reward to encourage them to continue to get better. Darko, I thought you were one of these development coaches that really knew how to get more out of people. In some ways, this is false advertising just as much as Malachi Flynn is false advertising. Maybe you're developing the hell out of Scotty and it's working real well. But I'm not seeing anybody else get developed in the right kind of ways. Maybe Siakam's changing his game a bit and developing a bit himself. But most of these guys aren't developing, especially the Benz guys. They're regressing. They are regressing. G saying, I don't understand something. Last year, they were a good defensive team. Did they just forget how to defend? Even with new schemes, it's about effort, too. Yeah. Did you need Nick making you do a crazy-ass run all over the place? Defensive scheme, like doubling and crazy trapping for you to play that kind of effort, Raptors? Or can you do it the right way? The way you guys were doing it at the beginning of the season was right, but it's all fallen off. Is that part of the thing that Nick needed to key on that kind of defense? Because he knew y'all were going to slack and become what you've become right now. If he don't keeps on you about having that intensity, it makes me wonder about that, G. It really does. In some ways, this is a personal pride thing. In some ways, this is a communication thing between the players and talking about what's going on and being together. In some ways, it's an orientation to a new scheme that's being installed also. So there's a couple of contributing factors. Monique saying 3 stars in the loss, Scotty, OG, and Gary. Yeah, this is the same ones I have. Stargate saying one of the big three has got to go. I hope it isn't Pascal, because him and Scotty are now starting to figure out their synergy together. I really hope it's an indie trade for OG. But hey, I'm not I'm not an NBA GM. So yeah, Stargate really liked my deal with Indiana and keeps bringing it up. And I'm with it. Yeah, Siakam and Barnes are just so fun in the break. And they really don't step on each other's toes. They really do seem like the kinds of players that can coexist and really, really be fruitful beside each other. They're not taking away from each other. That's the main thing. Nameless is saying at this point, I don't hate the idea of another top 4 selection with our core roster. Well, all right. In some ways, listen, we may get what you're saying, whether we like it or not. I'm always for winning at all costs and trying to just win. Like Masai, I take the direction from Ujiri. But if these guys are lying to us and Masai saying, just win. It's like, okay. Are you doing a little bit of funny stuff like at the end of Tampa season all of a sudden, Masai? Yeah. Yeah. Is there a little bit of that funny stuff? Is like, well, if our team's just not good enough on the court to add up to winning, well, that's what it is. I don't know. This could very well be. We'll have to monitor this as the season goes on, and let's just see how they do. I don't want them half-assed in the middle where they screw up the pick and they don't win enough and they're just out of the playoffs anyway. That would be horrible. That would be absolutely the worst. So I don't know. These guys got to figure it out. And if y'all are trying to lose on purpose, oh my God, I hate that so much. I really do. But Nameless, he's like, hey, I'll take a top 4 selection. Nako saying, let's develop Grady more. Yeah, I saw Grady's parents at the game last night. We're sitting not far from where we were sitting. We're kind of sitting just one section over from all the Raptors families, like Dennis Schroeder's wife and that contingency. And then also Grady's, both his parents sitting right in front of us. Pretty cool. Nako's saying Nick was undeniably working with a better team than Darko was his first year. And Nick's undeniably working with a better team with Philly this year. I think Darko was hard to do 2 things at once. Yeah, I don't know. In some ways, I just want to see him make progress as a coach. In some ways, I'm not seeing enough progress with adjustments and changing and being smart about what's happening from Darko. In some ways, I was giving him a pass. He's new. But in some way, I'm not seeing smart things like Jakob last night. That's a big, big omission. Not smart. MSJ saying, I liked a lot of what I saw last night, but the team is scoring limited. We need better guard play. This team knows this, and the players know this. Change is coming. Yeah. I've got 1 more hour. I will not go over 12 o'clock, just so y'all know. So don't write any more in. Kevin saying, I would be pissed if Masai stays put this trade deadline again. Yes. In fact, I wouldn't have said this last year. I in some ways, I'll allow him, but this is getting ridiculous at this point. In some ways, I might be a little pissed if we do not see a deal coming soon. And in fact, I'd like to see one before New Year's, Kevin. My patience is running out, and I usually have a lot of patience for them. But we need to do something, Masai. We cannot sit back, and this is not going to fix itself at this point. There's too many issues with the personnel on this team. The roster's not right. It's the front office's job to change the roster. You need to help Darko. He said he doesn't have a Steph Curry to come save him. So go get somebody else, somebody that can help him and maybe help save us and get more wins. Space Cadet saying, in my opinion, Nurse and Fred were unfairly scapegoated for bad roster construction. Now, see, this is the argument that a lot of people have said recently, and some people were saying last year too. Now, I listen. I stood up for Nurse and Fred during the season, but when Nurse went rogue at the end of the season, I scapegoated the hell out of him. Yeah. As soon as he showed signs that he had given up on the team before the season was over, that's when I went after Nick. But before that, I was really trying to defend him from a lot of stuff before that. And Fred, the whole time, I tried to defend him the whole time. I was consistent with that. I really didn't come after Fred any kind of way like anybody did last year. But yeah, I feel like they were unfairly scapegoated for most of the year, but not at the end of the year. Nick deserved getting scapegoated the hell out of him. Denal saying, I don't believe everyone raging on the bench. It's more so stupid rotations. We've had plenty of games that we only got back into it because of the bench. 1 starter and 4 bench guys is a bad rotation. Yeah. I mean, in some ways, the rotations are an issue, and the lineup choices are an issue for sure. Because in some ways, he's just not putting a lineup out there that matches up against the other team in an effective way, and they're going on a huge run and taking the lead and winning the game. And that's just the pure truth of it. Chris is saying the issues with the deal is that unless we trade, say, OG, we don't have true tradable parts. Perhaps Gary. In truth, I don't know. Don't care to be a GM. Barnes is the engine. Build around him. 6'9" is done. Yeah. It's sad. In some ways, like, I get it. Have a lot of talented, athletic guys. In theory, it sounds right. But the shooting is just so important in this league. And these talented 6'9" guys are not generally like dead-eye shooters. They usually are not. Man, Chris, in truth, I don't know either. I don't care to be an NBA GM because in some ways I hate transactions and figure out money and figuring out what fits and stuff like that. It's just not my kind of brain. And I don't envy Bobby Webster. He's going to have to do this correctly because there's a lot riding on this. My brother's here. He was at the game with me last night, of course, so he saw it with his own 2 eyes. He's saying the Raptors might have lost, but it was a great time. There you go. I love you, Carl. And I really, really do feel so happy that I got to spend that game with you guys. It was so fun. And I seen the joy on your kids' faces and just the excitement and just the fun of it. I know that Ansley loves cheering and stuff, so it's just natural to her. And I can tell because of the dance teams and stuff that it was really cool to her to kind of see the dance teams out there doing their thing and stuff. Because, she does gymnastics. She can do all the flips and things that like the little ballers are doing, and that kind of thing for her was very exciting. And then, of course, like I said, my mom was really into the Christmassy theme of everything, and it being all like they're all dressed up, and it was kind of like going to a Christmas Raptors winter showcase kind of game last night. And that kind of checked off things for all my family. It's like the kids get to cheer and be loud and crazy. My mom gets a whole kind of a spectacle, a wintry Christmas showcase kind of spectacle. So there's a lot of good stuff about the game last night. And I really will cherish that memory, even if they didn't win. In fact, over time, I may forget that they lost, and that I'll just think about the really, really special time with my family. Yeah, it was amazing. Amazing. So good. Let's see. Where am I? La 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 la. Cool Cat saying there will be no I gave you a dunk, by the way, Carl. There will be no selfish play. You took away the power of your young vet to take over the ball and control how we close out games. Nope. See, you messed up the power and hierarchy structure. Yeah, I don't even understand what selfish play means at this point. Like there's certain people still being selfish and they just get carte blanche. And I'm not talking about Dennis. I'm talking about Malachi. I'm serious. I'm gonna scapegoat the hell out of Malachi. In some ways, he's an easy target for me, and I want to minimize collateral damage. I really do. That's one thing. Is like if we're gonna go forward and we're gonna have to keep most of our players. It's not like we're gonna wholesale change everything. I will scapegoat a few of them and try and save the other ones. I really will. MSJ saying Nick Nurse wasn't into development and wants to win. He had that Sixers job lined up and he left us. Fred took the money, but the 6'9" vision could be thought of as a gamble that didn't pay off. And that's on Masai. Well, once again, I'm not going to come after Masai. I'm going to say that's Bobby Webster's fault, because he's been the GM of this team that whole time during Vision 6'9". If we're going to fire anybody in the front office, we don't fire Masai. We fire Bobby Webster. In fact, Bobby Webster is that pin to knock over to protect Masai and keep him still around us. In some ways, Bobby Webster being the GM and Masai Ujiri being the team president, well, let's fire Bobby way before we even think about getting rid of Masai Ujiri. Because in some ways he can be a scapegoat in the front office, and we really need to do that. Now, I'd like to protect Bobby also, because I do feel like he's a good GM. It's just that this is my strategy. If it does turn on the front office, we protect Masai no matter what, y'all, and we go after Bobby, and we say Bobby's got to go, because we can't have both of them go, guys. We really, really can't. We need to take the GM out first. And no, we never, ever want to get rid of Masai, because that is a fail if we do. It's a fail just like losing Nick last year. Seriously. You got to understand me, Raptors Nation. If it really gets that bad and the front office are to blame because they are not doing anything to fix our team, we can Bobby Webster before we even talk about getting rid of Masai Ujiri. All right, let's keep going. Let's see. Stargate is saying, I heard something like this as well, that Darko isn't listening to his assistants, particularly Jama and Wade. Don't know if it's true. It could be just made up crap. Well, they're rumors, they're murmurs. Who knows? In some ways, we're going to find out. And listen, Darko, man, come on. You came as advertised as somebody who takes suggestions. In some ways, you're showing a stubbornness. And you're showing like you're playing the same tune on this jukebox too much right now. And in some ways, you need to flip songs and maybe not play that Elvis song so many times. Maybe play the Beatles or the Monkees or something in the jukebox instead. Space Cadet saying, I'm so done with Flynn. When you see rookies coming in this year carrying teams, this guy has had so much time to figure it out. Yes, and you're getting a dunk for this, because this is so true. I mean, we see guys come in this league and they're just so much more capable. And we've invested all this time in Malachi, and I feel like it's just been a big waste of time. I really do. I feel like he's been one of the biggest fails in Raptors history. In the end, in all things, his pick and what happened with him will be one of the biggest fails in our history. I'm serious. I don't see a redemption curve for him at this point. I don't see enough progress. I don't see a leap in his game. I don't see anything that he came advertised as. A point guard, a shooting guard, a capable three-point shooter. He's none of those things. None of those things. Denal saying Nurse was at least right about Flynn. He's unfixable. I guess so. So why are we investing time in him over and over again, Masai and Bobby and Darko? Seriously, let's just let him go away. Is his contract up at the end of this year? Cut him. If somebody else in the rest of the league wants to take a gamble on him, good for them. But otherwise, that man needs to maybe go to Europe or Asia. And he does not need to be around the NBA. He's not a G League player either, I don't think. I need to send him to 905. He probably wouldn't do jack shit on that league either. Seriously. Yeah. Let's see. Space Cadet saying at MSJ, who is he not developing? Flynn? Come on now. Yeah. And Chris is saying at Denal, he just isn't good enough. You can't fix what isn't broken. Flynn isn't broken. He just isn't NBA. And Space Cadet, I don't know what you mean. It's all good. Y'all are on the same page, honestly. And Denal saying Banton, the twin who wanted to be free, Koloko, and Flynn, etc. Yes. All right, there you go. I like that. Yeah, he didn't develop any of those guys. Nurse did not. He is very win. I mean, if you came into the league as a rookie head coach and won a championship in your first year, and you had a high winning percentage right away, and you started having years like Tampa, years like last year, and it was eating into your win percentage. In some ways, the ego and the cockiness of Nick Nurse is thinking about his own personal coaching record. And that him being in Philadelphia, well, his record's starting to go back up again instead of it soaring down the last couple years with the Raptors being so mid. So in some ways, he is selfish and thinking about himself and that's all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Is Nick really finessed his way in a really ugly, awful way out of the Toronto job into the Philly job? He really did. He finessed it. Let's see. Cool Cat saying, I see how Fred kept the Rockets youngins in line on the court. They have to listen to him. Raptors youngins strike again, complain, and get nothing. In some ways, it's the sad truth that Scotty just rejected Fred as a leader to a degree. And in some ways, they had to go in the direction of the future. And in some ways, that was a conflict. So in some ways, that's part of why I'm mad at Scott in this situation. That I wish he had just accepted Scott as Fred as a leader better. And that in some ways, but it wouldn't have mattered. Fred was going to leave anyway because he's going to get paid this summer. So in some ways, the Raptors were in a weird situation in a lot of ways. You know, in some ways, M.A. is standing up for Fred as the guy behind him. He's like, y'all don't listen to Fred? Well, you're not going to get to play. And this is how it is. And this is just how it is. You guys were kindergarten for the last couple of years and not professional. Well, we're changing that here. And that's part of changing it. So he has to endorse Fred and back him up no matter what. So Udoka is a big reason why those Rockets youngsters are falling in line behind the leadership of Van Vliet. Yeah, very true. Norma's here. They were up 13 after 3. I know. I mean, I said 9 earlier, but that's messed up. It is messed up, Norma. Oh, my gosh. Space Cadet saying Nurse played his best players because he was trying to win. I hate how he left for the Sixers, but you can't blame him for that. Yeah, I can, because in some ways he had a contract and he should be coaching us this year. And he managed to destroy that in a way that we would have to fire him. And he couldn't wait. He wanted to go now. In some ways, he was supposed to be coaching us for another year right now because he was under contract. So in some ways, that's messed up. That's a messed up thing right there. Nako's saying, if you could get a good young center for Yak and some other stuff, I'd do it. You don't need to trade Yak, but I do see him as a good value contract. I don't think that that's actually it's a lateral move. It's not really like an improvement because a younger center is not going to be as good as him in certain ways. They may have other skills that Yak lacks, but in some ways, the knowledge base of Jakob is better than kind of getting a youngster who's going to do boneheaded things. Like you were talking about maybe like a Nicholas Claxton. Some people say, what are you talking about, Lex? We should flip Jakob for Claxton right away. Well, in some ways, there's a folly to that. Space Cadet saying, agree, Cool Cat. There's nobody to keep players like Precious and Flynn in line. Precious has free reign to botch 3 straight possessions with no consequences. That's on the coach. And honestly, Malachi's supposed to be like Fred right now. If the succession was supposed to have taken, he had the apprentice work under Lowry and Van Vliet. He got to play with Lowry. So Malachi should understand the legacy of the 2 guys that were in his position before him on this team, but he doesn't honor it and respect it or come correct in the way that it fulfills the need of the role. And that's part of the problem is that there's a lot of downloading into Fred that came from Kyle. And that it was supposed to happen from Fred to Malachi, but it didn't. There was a loss in translation or loss in transition that it just didn't go to him and it just didn't happen. So just kick Malachi off this team. Oh my gosh. It's so annoying. G saying this is why this selfish talk drove me nuts last year. You play through the best players trying, players wanting to win. Others have to earn it. And if they don't, they can sit down. Well, I think that really the big talk when we talk about selfish, it's not even about individual players. It's not about Fred and Pascal isolating so much, but it is. It's about changing the offense so that there's more passing. Once again, it's the selfish talk and the 0.5 talk at the beginning of the season was to change the nature of the Raptors from being so non-pass and not connecting with each other to getting to the point where we can have 30 assist games as a team. And that really was the whole reason why they brought up selfishness and they had the whole idea of the 0.5 offense at the beginning of the year is to break the habits of not passing with each other and getting it together. And in some ways, I like that we broke those habits, that we talked about the selfishness, that we did the 0.5 offense in the beginning to allow for these guys to pass. Now, the problem is when they're passing it around, the ball needs to land in the right Plinko spot. Like it needs to land in Scotty's hands. It needs to land in Pascal's hands. It needs to land in the right guys and taking more of the shots and that being more dominant that way. But finding the shots through more passing, that's nothing wrong with that. And in the long term, that's going to be good for our team. If that's part of the culture that Darko's trying to start is a more passing, efficient, higher percentage shots offense, I'm all for it. But that's the trade-off right now. That's the trade-off right now. That in some ways, finding our way through an unselfish offense, some people are taking more shots than they should be, and some of the other guys are not taking enough shots as they should. That's for sure. Cool Cat saying, Lex, I'm more ruthless, trade everyone except Scotty and Pascal. Pascal is mentoring Scotty for on-off court, and the same mentorship he got from Lowry and DeMar and Kawhi. Hey, listen, I mean, I'm not totally that far off from that at this point. Seriously, there's not many of these guys I'm trying to protect right now. Your two guys are two of them. Yeah. And Jakob. In some ways, those are the three guys that I care about the most. Some people be like, you're crazy, Jakob. Yeah, because in some ways I want to at least have a center around. You know, I don't care the other positions. We can get other things and fill them in. We could strike the whole team in the offseason and just clean house and have a whole different look for next season. And I would not be upset. I would not be upset at all. MSJ saying, Flynn, I think of him as the best lawnmower repairman. Would you ask him to work on your Corvette? If you did, would you get pissed at him when he didn't have a clue? Darko knows, doesn't let him do much. Well, are they using Flynn to tank to keep our top six pick? In some ways, is Malachi the means to the ends to get people like Scotty in Tampa? Is it the means to the end to get a high draft pick and keep our draft pick from the Spurs this year? I don't know. Maybe Bobby's like, these guys are naturally losing anyway. I mean, you know, whatever. I wish we'd just win. Oh my gosh. I just wish we'd win. Tristan saying, gee, on that note, I noticed Scotty and Pascal went up and grabbed the rebound at the same time, and Scotty ended up strongly grabbing it. Yeah, in some ways, Scotty is trying to build his legend. He's trying to go for All-Star. Now, Sheb is on his clip right now saying that we're screwing up his chance for All-Star. No, we're not. No, we're not. Scotty's going to get All-Star no matter what. His numbers are just too good. And we need a representative at All-Star weekend. It's not like they're going to put one of our guys in the dunk contest or the three-point shootout. Yeah, right. Like there's somebody on our team that deserves to be in the three-point shootout. That may be the funniest thing I've said. I'm giving myself a dunk because I just made one of the most funny comments to myself. Yeah, like they're going to put one of the Raptors in the three-point shootout. That's funny. No, we need a Canadian representative for the Toronto team because that's the whole of Canada. So it's in the interest of NBA marketing to have Scotty Barnes on the All-Star team. And listen, if he doesn't get voted in by the fans in the starting lineup, which I think he has a good chance, y'all, I know for sure the coaches will put him on the All-Star team. They will give us a representative because it's just not in the best interest to have no Toronto people at the Indy All-Star break. Just trust me. So Scotty's going to be an All-Star. I have full confidence in this. He's playing like an all-star. He looks like a star. That's what it is. It's the eye test. Is this kid a star? Yeah, he's a star. So he's going to be at the All-Star game. I wouldn't fret about this at all. In a retort to Shev's worrying clip recently about is Scotty losing his all-star chances because the team's so bad right now? No, quite often a really, really seriously bad team with one bright spot really shining bright, they have more of a chance in some ways. Actually, it's kind of funny. Let's see. No. Denal saying he hasn't played a two-way player yet. He put Siobhan in, put Noel in, Jonte. I'd rather fail forward with Noel at backup point guard or Javon. Coloco's MIA. Get a disabled player exception. Bring on Jonte. Yeah, I'm wondering about this. Mitchell Robinson getting a disabled player exception for the Knicks now because he's out for the season, and they're capitalizing on it. Well, the fact that Bobby Masai have not moved this way makes me think they expect Coloco to return this season because that's the only reason why they wouldn't do it, right? If they are forecasting Coloco's not going to be ready to play at all for the whole season, they would just do it, right? Or they cut him just like Ron Harper Jr. No, they expect him to come back, and that's why they're not using this player exemption with Coloco because they are actually thinking he's going to come back. That's the only thing I can fathom to this. Now, if he goes the whole entire year and doesn't play and we don't use some sort of player exception, I'm going to be really worried about our front office. Like maybe Bobby Webster's asleep at the wheel. Like it's not just that he's not making deals. He's not even taking advantage of player exceptions that are afforded to us for our situation with an injured player who's not showed up this year at all. I'd be really worried that he's asleep at the wheel if that's the case. Now, Javon's hurt, so he can't come in. But Noel and Jonte, yeah, they've all gotten in once. I think that Ron got in once. Marquise got in once and Javon got in once, and they played one game this year, each of them. Jonte has not played for us yet, though, on the Raptors yet. He just arrived. Let's see. G saying Javon is injured too, but yeah, after the showcase, please try Noel and Jonte. Yeah, I was hoping they'd try him as soon as last night. I mean, it would have made sense. You had a back-to-back in Philly. You played heavy minutes on them. Activate your two ways and get them in there. Give Malachi the night off. He played in Philly. He played so much. Just give them the night off. Give him and Precious the night off and play Jonte Porter and Marquise Noel instead. That's what I would have done, Darko. In some ways, I'm like wondering what the hell you're doing. Like, why wouldn't you activate the two ways on the second night of a back-to-back and play them? Maybe a really good time will be next Saturday. If Gerald and I go to Detroit and we're at the Pistons game after y'all played the Celtics in Boston the night before, maybe activating the two ways in a game against a team with just 2 wins is a smart time to try out. It's safe to play Marquise Noel in the game against the Pistons next Saturday on the second night of a back-to-back. That would just logically make sense, Brian Winders. Why wouldn't you do that then, maybe, Darko? In some ways, I'm wondering about you, man, with your aptitude. I'm thinking about these kind of things. Your management between 905 and the main roster is just as shitty as Nick Nurse's was last year. And that makes me wonder, are these guys in charge of it then? Is it Bobby Webster telling them, no, you can't use the two ways? Listen, we're trying to keep our high draft pick. You can't try and win in that way. No, I'm going to really handcuff you and not let you do certain things because I'm the general manager and I want to keep our pick. With the Spurs. And that's on the down low what we're really doing, Darko. I'm like, I don't like this, Bobby. I wouldn't have taken this job if I knew you wanted me to lose on purpose. Well, too bad. Ma ha ha ha. I don't know what's going on. In some ways, I'm starting to question Darko Rajakovic. I'm starting to question Bobby Webster. More like everybody else. In some ways, I would giving them free passes and standing up for them. But at a certain point, I'm just like, I don't know what the hell they're doing. I have no idea what they're doing at this point. Let's see. Isaac Campbell's here. Good to see the benevolent Isaac Campbell holding it down in the nation's capital of Ottawa, Canada. I love you, Isaac. Hope you're having a great Christmas Eve so far. Let's see. Raptors bench needs to play whether you think we need a trade or not. It's going to take time to make a move to get any kind of compensation. Bench needs to be displayed. They won't trade Pascal, Scotty, or OG. Wow. I mean, I get it. We need to put them on display. But what if they're a bad product? Then maybe we don't need to do that. Maybe we need to be an unethical salesman and hide our players so they don't see how bad they are. Because I think they're hurting their trade value when we play them. I don't know if they're actually getting their trade value up. That's what I'm worried about. Cool Cat saying, I miss Norm. If he had to go, I was secretly coveting Clarkson on Utah. Much a bench heater. It would make a lot of people happy. I know the Filipino community in Toronto would be very happy if Jordan Clarkson was in a Raptors jersey all of a sudden. Utah is a team that we could be trading with. They are kind of in a place where they kind of do trades with people at this point. I don't know. I saw some people out there I wouldn't mind, like Colin Sexton is the kind of guy who gets after it. And if anything, you're not worried about Colin Sexton not having dog or giving a fight or putting all of it out on the court. He's definitely that kind of guy. Let's see. Nako's saying Brandon Podziemski for the Warriors is playing good. I like Kuminga. Golden State is a team I'm hoping Bobby's talking to. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if they're talking to Golden State. They're probably talking to a lot of different people. Denial said he wants Clarkson too. Nameless saying, I think Coloco's presence may have been greatly understated. Yeah, I don't think that's it, Nameless, exactly, my paisano. I don't know if that's exactly it. I mean, Coloco would be kind of helpful, I guess, but I don't know if it's exactly it. Let's see. Cool Cat saying, yes, Lex, thank you for creating a space for all of us. You are loved and appreciated by us all. I love you too, and thank you for the nice little snowman and the Christmas tree. And man, now more than ever, Raptor Freak family, stick together. And I understand if we're going to go a little more negative in certain ways, just because we have to be realistic about how bad our team is, so be it. But once again, the most important thing is we're being constructively critical, not just kicking guys when they're down. And we're really just kind of like wanting to move towards better things. That's where is in our heart, is to get the team improved and winning and back towards getting closer to championships instead of further away from championships like the way they are going right now. Nako saying Clarkson and Sexton would help a lot. Yeah, both those players on our team would be nice. The Raptors do this sometimes. Teams pass through and they happen to just talk to their personnel around them. And who knows? You make a deal with the team you just played. We just saw some of the Jazz players last night. Maybe Bobby's saying, hey, you want to wheel and deal a little bit? Yeah. And who knows? We could have a late Christmas present very, very soon. Very, very soon. Isaac saying, I hope the Raptors are all gifted dogs for Christmas. Scotty Barnes has a dog. They all need to be a dog. Get the dog and think like the dog. Be like Cardi. That's right. Y'all need to go get dogs. Grady, you have a cat. That's what's wrong. You got to trade your cat in for a dog, and then you'll get dog in you. And Josh is thinking that's funny. Josh thinks that's funny too. I don't know. That's not a bad idea in some ways. Fun guy saying, laugh out loud, Lex. I tried to tell you Dennis is a bench player. Only after did he surpass Jeff Teague in Atlanta to start early career. But everywhere else, he has been a bench or played bench minutes. What are we doing? That's not totally true, though, still. I mean, he started a good amount of games for the Lakers last year. And I really do count FIBA kind of stuff because he was starting for FIBA this summer. And he did a really sound job. There's really tough competition at FIBA. And the thing about Dennis is it's about being a point guard. It's about running things. And there's certain things he's doing out there that are intangibles that people are just not seeing, that he is running things a certain way. And there's a certain level of excellence and professionalism in how he does it that none of the other guards on our team has. Even Scotty, he's too young and he's too unfundamental in certain ways as a point guard that in some ways Dennis is absolutely essential to our team, especially since Malachi is a huge fail. So if we're talking about point guards on our team, he's the most true and real point guard on our team and the best option for starting point guard. I'm just saying it. I'll say it over and over again. Until Bobby gets somebody else who's in here to compete with him better, then you move him to the bench maybe. I'd love to get a Jose Calderon, TJ Ford point guard controversy coming up with Dennis. But Malachi ain't him. No, you think Malachi is going to be a point guard controversy with Dennis Schroeder? Yeah, and y'all can't say Scotty's the point guard controversy with him. No, because Scotty's a forward, a point forward, and he can do that. But I love a point guard controversy like Ford versus Calderon from almost 20 years ago. That'd be great. But we don't have that second point guard to combat with Dennis for that starting lineup job right now. Gary's not a point guard. He's not a point guard. Let's see. Denal said, I wouldn't cut Javon. He's a bucket. Problem is we don't know what the heck these guys can do at this level because coach refuses to use any two ways. Grady's not playing, not even at 9:05. Yeah, he stayed with the big club during the showcase and didn't showcase down there. But what's the point? He's a rookie. He's under contract with us. So it's not like he's showcasing the rest of the team to get picked off of 905. So I get that. And in some ways, the experience of being up with the big club is important right now. Javon's hurt. And he's just not showed like for 2 months he's been hurt. So we're not getting anything out of him. But obviously he's not like Ron Harper where it's season ending, or they would have cut him as a two-way and signed a new two-way. I don't know. I'm not really big on Javon Freeman Liberty. In some ways, it's like I haven't seen enough of him. I know he's a bucket. I know he's all this and that, but I don't even know if he's an NBA player. And in some ways, I see guys that are NBA players like Kenny Lofton Jr. or Justice Winslow that are out there and they're not on two ways. I'm like, yeah, let's cut this two-way just like the Sixers cut theirs, and let's go get Justice Winslow or Kevin O'Banner and two-way them. Seriously, Kevin O'Banner, I would probably two-way him, but the Justice Winslow stuff would be very interesting. Kevin Thompson saying Justice Winslow provides that toughness off the bench we need. Bobby needs to wake up. Yeah, I don't even know whose job that is. Is it Luke Wynn's? Is it Bobby Webster's? Is it Darko Rajakovic's? Is it Eric Curry's? Is it just fall in between all four of them? It's like, oh, well, okay. I don't know what's going on with this organization. In the last couple of years, the disconnect between 905 dealings and the main roster just don't make any sense to me. Y'all are not maximizing the G League team for the Raptors in the correct way. And that pisses me off. That really does piss me off. Isaac's got my cutoff. So does Cool Cat. Denal saying take Trent, Flynn, Precious, Temple, Thad, Boucher, Otto for Clarkson. You want to trade the whole bench just for one guy, Clarkson. Holy crap. And Monique saying, despite the outcomes, Lex, seriously, keep up the great work, streams. We appreciate you. I love you, Monique. Merry Christmas, Monique. I really appreciate you. Listen, we're a team. And you know what? You're a huge, huge part of this channel and what drives me and keeps me going. I really do appreciate you. Love you so much. Denal saying, in case I miss your beautiful serenade tomorrow, Lex, Merry Christmas. Thank you, Denal. Listen, it'll be up. It'll be live when I do it in the morning, but it will be up just like everything tomorrow. So if you catch it later, it's going to be much shorter stream tomorrow. And it'll be just a lovely new Christmas Carol parody that I've made together. Once again, I want to preface it by saying I'm not making light of any religion when I do my song tomorrow. I know that some people might be offended by the song I make tomorrow, but it is all in good intentions. And it's a Raptors song about a basketball player. And it's not meant to make fun of the original song and the way the song is structured. In some ways, I took the song and I changed it into something completely else. It's the same tune and a lot of the same things about it. But this song is a completely original song written by me with the same music of that Christmas Carol. And I don't want to piss anybody off because I know a lot of Christmas carols have religious stuff in them. And I want everyone to know that I'm not writing this song to piss you off. This is just pure fun. And it's in the same vein as Weird Al Yankovic would take Beat It and turn it into Eat It. Okay? So it's nothing like I'm trying to be like making fun of anything, just so y'all know. All right, let's keep going. Trevor J saying the problem with this team is that we stopped working. Yeah, I agree with that. Cowboys here. Good morning, Rabbit Freaks. Dap, dap. Mischief's got me cut off. Denal's got me cut off. Mugarbe's here. Mugarbe Lennon checking in from the central part of the country. Good morning, Raptors Freaks. I'm not a Darko hater, but Lex, Darko is only here for Scotty because he is not using the best players in crunch time. Yeah, I want to see this change more. Now, listen, if Darko is part of the whole idea of building around Scotty and catering to him, well, let's just see how it goes. In some ways, I don't mind him being all about Scotty because that's the way we should be going forward. But we need to start seeing changes. Like if we're hitting the rock bottom round right now, I want to see us starting to pick up progress and going back up. Because right now I feel like we're hitting rock bottom. And if there's a deeper bottom, like with Detroit on Saturday, yikes. Thanks for the cutoff, Isaac Denial. And yes, I just want to mention the pick. And Fun Guy saying, Lex, there is no chance in hell they trade guys during the holidays. So you'll have to wait until January 15th, 100%. Not during Christmas or New Year's, bro. These guys are a family and will be business after January 15th. I could see them trading somebody between Christmas and New Year's. Yeah. I could see them trading somebody as soon as Boxing Day and just after. Yeah. Seriously. I can see it happening. We'll see who's right, Fun Guy. In some ways, I hope you're not. I really do. Dre saying Anthony Edwards and the Wolves are 22-6 and are tied with the Celtics for the best record in the NBA. That's wild. Yeah, and it's amazing, Dre, if you think about our opening night against the Timberwolves and we beat them to start the season. Got Darko a win in his very first game as a coach and had a fantastic opening to the season. And who knew that Minnesota Timberwolves was actually a Western juggernaut on that first night, the way we handled them. Yeah, that's very impressive. And in some ways, I'm very proud that we actually got the win over them already this season because they are up near the top. It is wild. It's blowing my mind, too. Isaac Campbell cut off. MSJ saying, yes, Flynn is an agent of losing. It's very weird. Laugh out loud. There is no real reason he's in the NBA. Laugh out loud. Anyway, sorry for the late comment. Merry Christmas, everyone. All good, Chris. Merry Christmas to you. And thanks again for the marinade and just the good times hanging out when we've seen you in the meet and greets this past year. It's been a lot of fun. David's saying, cooking up some cowboy bacon for breakfast. There you go. There you go, David. Love you, man. Talking about you yesterday with my mom, talking about your prowess in bridge and all that good stuff. Norma's saying, if he insists on 4 bench lineups, maybe at least swap Pascal and Scotty for a change. Yeah, I mean, I just think that they need to have at least Scotty and Jakob or Scotty and OG. I don't know. Even Scotty with OG and then 3 benches is scary. I don't know. I don't know what to do at this point. I'm so confused, Norma. I just wish this team would win. Mugabe saying Pascal's prime is being wasted at this point, so I don't mind him getting traded. Honestly, his prime is not being wasted. That man's already a successful NBA player. He's had an extremely successful career. Nothing's being wasted for Siakam. The NBA players lose and win during different times of their career. And honestly, he's a champion. And there's a small fraction of NBA players that can lay claim to that. So there's nothing about Siakam that's getting wasted. Once again, I deny and reject that kind of notion. That once again, different times in your career, well, the team is in different places, and you can't really control that. And being worried about somebody wasting their prime or anything like that in some ways, that doesn't make any sense. Because teams will go through what they go through as a team, and it just happens to coincide with this age time when your career is whatever. It's just what it is. He's had success young in his career. He's already an NBA champion. He's bona fide. So there's nothing about him that's getting wasted. Trust me. David's saying free Gary Trent Jr., the GOAT. Well, can we free him to another team? Because I'm sick of his inconsistency. I really am. Carlos saying it's really darkest before the dawn. Oh man, you're getting a dunk for that, Carlo. Wow, he's really right. Let's see. In some ways, that loss yesterday won't matter in the long run. I'm really curious if we still have a good front office. We'll see what they try to do to correct this. We should. I don't like hearing what other people are saying. Oh, this coasting on this. No, I feel like they do good moves. They still do. Jonte Porter. It's just that, man, they need to do something better. David's saying best head office in the league, and I agree with that. I really do. In some ways, once again, just because they don't make a lot of transactions doesn't mean they're a bad front office. It just means they try to get it right, but they don't have it right now. So they definitely need to make some transactions now. Racemo is saying, wishing you all and your loved ones a joyous Christmas filled with warmth, laughter, and cherished moments. Let's go. That's right. Let's keep it back on track. Listen, we have a distraction away from this mess that the Raptors are at this moment. And now we can just enjoy our Christmas for a couple days. Let's just turn it off, enjoy my song tomorrow. And on Tuesday, I'm going to have trivia on Boxing Day. So Raptor Freak Trivia back on Tuesday. We'll have a little fun with some questions on that date. And we'll just have a good couple days. And then we'll get back to business. Washington Wizards in Washington. A very winnable game. Come on, Raptors. Let's beat the Wizards on Wednesday. Because y'all been winning on Wednesday most of this year. There's been like 3 losses on a Wednesday, and most of the other games have all been wins, and that's been fantastic. Thank you, Isaac, for the cutoff once again. And David's saying, throw some beat nuts. Some beat nuts in that Christmas tune? Oh, my gosh. That halftime show was horrible yesterday. Holy crap. They had a Nemesis. What? First of all, why are you naming your halftime act Nemesis? That's a horrible name. That means you're adversaries against each other. And it was basically a beatbox artist with an electric violin, and they had the treble turned up way too loud. That guy, the beatboxer, he was so annoying. It was like scratching in my ears. I'm like, what is this? My little niece was holding her ears like, hey, I don't want to hear this, Uncle Lex. What is this? I don't know why they're torturing us. at halftime with Nemesis. What kind of name is that? Who organized the halftime for this to do it this way? To have some sort of electric violin beatbox combo called Nemesis out there. And they really kind of soured the whole thing after that. The game went to crap in the second half. So thanks for nothing, Nemesis, with your dumbass electric violin beatbox act. It's stupid and it's lame and it hurts our ears because honestly, the mixing in that arena is horrible for that kind of a thing. It's all screechy treble with the violin, and then this guy with this. It was horrible. It's horrible. Why did you subjugate my niece to that? Scotiabank Arena. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. All right, David, we'll finish up with David's last comment here. Nothing but love, brother. Merry Christmas to you and the Raptor Freak family. Once again, the Raptors lost inexplicably to the Utah Jazz in a stupid game. Jordan Clarkson, Lauri Markkanen, congratulations. 30 points each. Good job by you guys. Captain Canada came in and got an ovation for his part in the bronze medal game, winning this summer for FIBA. We love you, Kelly. And it was nice to see you come into the game. And you know, you didn't kill us. It was the other guys that are killing us. Markkanen, Clarkson, and even Kessler late was a problem. Sexton played pretty good at times too. My 3 stars of the game, Scotty Barnes, OG Anunoby, and Gary Trent Jr. Yeah. Congratulations to Jonte getting all showcase team, and then Scotty Barnes getting his career high in the first quarter. Well, I'm not going to do the Instagram stories. They don't deserve it. They just don't deserve it. All right, y'all. Have a great Christmas. Merry Christmas to you, Isaac. I appreciate you guys so much. All right, I'll be here for just a split second tomorrow morning for my Christmas carol. All right, y'all. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Happy Hanukkah. Happy Kwanzaa. Happy every single kind of holiday that's going on right now, whatever you celebrate. I hope you have a fantastic time, hopefully full of friends and family and just a lot of unconditional love and support and happiness. That's right. Let's just clear our brain of the Raptors for 48 hours, and we'll come back and see them around Wednesday or so. All right, y'all. Thank you once again. I love and appreciate y'all. And once again, thank you for the support. And I, in turn, will come around and give support also back to you guys and this channel. Yes, we got to keep going. It's always darkest before the dawn, as Carlos said. And I believe that. So let's get it going, Raptors. Let's get it out of the darkness. All right. Thanks, y'all. And let's go. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to you.